always been a hard place to go win, particularly on a Saturday night. We don't know the time that game's going to be played yet, but that game's played the week following a trip to Notre Dame as it's scheduled now, and who knows what's going to actually happen. But, Ty, I can tell you, we can talk about Death Valley on a Saturday night, and we can talk about Tuscaloosa and all the other venues around the league, and they're tough. Winning, particularly on a Saturday night in Starkville, and particularly in the old days when them cowbells were ringing the whole dadgum time, that's a hard place to go win, too.
I think about 2010, that game that went to overtime where Jake Beckett ended, I think it was Jake Beckett and another defensive lineman ended that game on a sack. I think Chris Relf was the quarterback, and that was a tremendous game. Starkville is an intimidating place to play. It's a lot more intimidating, I think, than Fort Hemingway in Oxford, Mississippi when you take on Ole Miss. And I think it's not just Arkansas fans that would say that, but a lot of other coaches, players, and fans would also agree with that statement. And you mentioned the game the week before in South Bend. You're going to have to take on Ian Book, a veteran quarterback. Brian Kelly, who's really an underrated coach, gets a lot of flack, and he has a lot of pressure on him because he is the head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But that's going to be a very difficult stretch in the fact that you have to go to Notre Dame, to Mississippi State, and then you take on Texas A&M in Arlington. That stretch where you go with Ian Book, KJ Costello, and then I'm blanking on the Texas A&M quarterback that said, why am I blanking on the A&M quarterback? Kellen Mond. Thank you.
I was just making sure he hadn't been gone, but Kellen Mond's the
who is the supposed incumbent best quarterback in the SEC.
Right.
We'll see if he actually is that. But that stretch of QBs that you have to play in that time period is pretty tough. Now, Book's gonna have a new OC because their OC left. I think Chip Lindsey was the OC there. I can't remember if that's 100% correct. And then with Mike Leach coming in, you have a new offensive system for KJ Costello. So you have that. And then Texas A&M, I think the Aggies OC is still there. But just the ring of quarterbacks that you have to play in that 3-week stretch on the road, and then at a neutral site, that's quite a tough challenge for the Arkansas defense, especially in a new system with Barry Odom.
Yeah, and think about this scenario, because I think I don't know if it's 50-50. I can't put the probability on it. What if you don't get to play Nevada before that? What if the Wolfpack doesn't come to Arkansas for that game because of COVID? And then your first game is perhaps playing Notre Dame. And it's just
one last game of preparation. That makes those games that you just went through with Notre Dame, Mississippi State, A&M, none of those in the state of Arkansas, very difficult. It's also difficult on the fans, which would mean, the end of, first part of October would be the first time you'd have a home game if that happened. So that Nevada game is critical for a lot of reasons, but to get you ready for that stretch you just went through, but also for the fans, because even with that game, you're going to play September 5th at home, and then you don't return to your home stadium till October 3rd. I mean, that's critical for the university, too.
And then you follow the October 3rd game up against Charleston Southern, against back-to-back games against LSU and Alabama. Now, you're not having to play Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa, but you will have to play some of the best defenses in college football, and assuming that LSU and Alabama get back to where they usually are, which you would likely assume that Alabama is going to be better than LSU this year based on what the Tigers lost. I'm really curious to see what Mac Jones and Miles Brennan do. I'm under the impression, like my buddy Bill Keene, that Bryce Young is going to take over Mac Jones' starting role, 5-star quarterback, and end up beating him out at some point in the season. So that's going to be an interesting conversation to watch. But that stretch right there, just because of the name, just because of the talent of LSU, Alabama, back-to-back weeks, I guess the only positive you can take about that is both teams lost a lot from last season, and you get them both at home, but there's not a lot of other positives you can point to when it comes to those two particular games.
No, and, just, again, would you say that the most uncertain game is your first game on the schedule for anyone right now, as far as being played at the date and time it's supposed to be? Game one might be the most uncertain.
That's fair.
Or you could argue that the end game, because there could be this rebound or resurgence. I'm just saying, you just went through all these games and then added, hey, right after that stretch, you get Charleston Southern, Alabama, and LSU before you get your bye week. Well, if you don't have that Nevada game, or if Charleston Southern doesn't come, where might the wins be? Notre Dame, Mississippi State, A&M, Alabama, LSU, you're going to be a heavy underdog in all of those games. I would think right now you would be a minimum of 10 points as an underdog in any of those games.
ESPN's FPI rates the Alabama game as the most difficult one on the schedule, gives Arkansas a 5% chance to win that game. I would even lower it than that in their chances to actually win. And then you move on to the other Alabama school, which is Auburn, where your former head coach is the offensive coordinator there. And I think there's going to be a motivation factor from a lot of Arkansas players heading into Auburn, Alabama, and Jordan-Hare Stadium to show out and hopefully show up their former head coach. But then you have the connection. The former head coach knows a lot of tendencies of your players. So that's going to be a fascinating game, I think. Plus the Gus Malzahn conversation, which is actually going to be overshadowed, obviously, because of what Chad Morris and where he resides now.
Chad Morris spent the last 2 years embarrassing you. He'd like to embarrass you one last time. From the other sideline this year.
Yeah, and that's going to be a difficult thing to manage if the offense, Auburn's offense, goes off on you. It's going to be difficult to stomach. So you hope, if any game this season, and obviously you'd like to win them all, you'd like to stand out against Alabama and stuff, but I think if any game you want your defense to show up the strongest, show up the toughest, it is against the Auburn Tigers when you go on the road to them later this season. 877-377-6963, the number to call or text in here on the Morning Rush. Coming up, we've got some quick kitty headlines. We're going to get to Jarius Wright.
Former Razorback wide receiver, is going to join us at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, we're going to talk about how many weeks you were ranked in the top 25 in 2010 and 2011. All that's next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
You guys love the show.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 0% for 84 months on nearly every 2020 Buick and GMC in stock. At Harry Robinson Buick GMC, get 0 for 84 on 2020 GMC Sierra 1500s, Yukons, Terrains, and Acadias, plus 0 for 84 on Buick Enclaves, Buick Encores, and Envisions. If you're even thinking about a new vehicle, stop by Harry Robinson and let us show you how you can save thousands. 0% for 84 months at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Need to see a doctor but you're concerned about going? River Valley Primary Care is now seeing patients at all 10 clinics by video and phone visits. See a doctor today who can diagnose your condition and prescribe medication if needed. These visits are now covered by most insurance plans. River Valley Primary Care in Ratcliffe, Mountainburg, Mulberry, Clarksville, Lavaca, Lamar, Waldron, and 3 locations in Fort Smith. Call 479-431-2050 or go online to rvpcs.org. See a doctor today by video or phone with River Valley Primary Care.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
Do you find yourself smacking yourself in the face every time you walk out in your yard? Well, Mosquito Joe can fix your itch. Mosquito Joe has a team of licensed, professional mosquito control experts to rid your yard of those pesky mosquitoes so you can actually enjoy your yard anytime, day or night. To get started for just $39, call Mosquito Joe today, 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960, or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
The Golf Nut is open and is always ready to help with all your golfing needs. The Trackman and Foresight indoor simulators are open. Play a round of golf on courses like Pebble Beach, Royal Troon, Bethpage Black, and many more. Club fitting is available by appointment or take the time to just work on your game. The Golf Nut has a great selection of shoes and apparel, plus a great line of golf accessories. Check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474, or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. World of Wireless has moved just a few miles east, next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I don't think I have any brain damage, but that's yet to be seen. I probably wouldn't swing a golf club very well.
Subscribe to the Morning Rush podcast wherever podcasts are found.
Some quick hitting headlines for you on the Morning Rush. Rivals 150 rankings have been finalized for the 2020 basketball class, and every single one of the Arkansas recruits have risen at some point. Devontae Davis is at 125. He rose 7 spots. KK Robinson at 62 rose 5 spots. Jalen Williams at 56. He rose 5 spots. And then Moses Moody at 53 rose 1 spot. So like 24/7, you saw a couple different guys rise up a lot. KK rose a ton. I can't
40.
remember.
Wasn't it 40 spots he rose?
Something like that.
We questioned that. Like, we asked Richard, how can you rise 40 in one deal here? But
something
he
like
did.
Yeah, he rose up a lot.
Because he was right there with Moses. They were like within a few spots of each other.
I think
in their ranking.
I think KK ended up being 36 on 24/7, and Moses was 37. So they both rose, but KK rose up the charts, like flew up the charts. So it's good to see a little visibility and game recognizing game, which is just basically a term for kind of the older people listening, that you appreciate that Arkansas guys are actually getting credit even though they're going to Arkansas, because it seems like all the time in the situation, basketball or football, this doesn't happen in baseball, but if a guy picks Arkansas, his rankings plummet when it comes to recruiting.
Don't you think if Moses Moody was going to Kentucky or Duke or North Carolina or Kansas, he wouldn't be 53, he'd be 33?
I mean, it just, it seems like when it comes
maybe
to,
that's the Razorback in me, but yeah, he'd be in the 30s if he was going to one of those schools.
Yeah.
He's in the 50s because he's at Arkansas.
But the thing is,
not that 53 is bad.
Recruiting services are very important to college football, college basketball, college baseball, because it can really show you where your talent's ending up and how much that translates to the next level. But it's not the underlying factor. Like, it's not the only reason. Like, there's been players before that have been 2 stars, 3 stars, and lower 4 stars or whatever that ended having up great careers collegiately. And that's what you're hoping, that these guys, not only do they have high recruit rankings, but they translate quickly to college basketball. And I want to get into a conversation coming up. Is there too much pressure on these freshmen entering Arkansas basketball, because I think there's a lot of high expectations this next season. We'll get into that conversation coming up.
I mean, you just should make the Final Four. Other than that, I don't know what you're talking about.
Aaron Torres came out with his transfer rankings and has Vance Jackson at number 9 and then Jalen Tate at number 32. One of the things about the recruiting rankings that whether it's Rivals, 24/7, or ESPN, they do not factor in the grad transfers or the transfers into their recruiting rankings equation. So you could argue that Arkansas's, whether it's 5th on ESPN, 6th on 24/7, and I think 7 on Rivals. I think it went 5, 6, 7. You could argue that their recruiting classes might even be 1 or 2 spots above where they're slated because of the guys that they're bringing in as well.
Yeah, and to me, these guys are about fit. That's also how you need to look at transfer. How do they fit your program and fit your roster's needs? Do they fill a hole that you have right now on your roster? And I think that's one thing Muss has done a good job of going out and finding players that fit.
Jalen Tate's going to take a Jimmy Witt type role where he was at one point an all-Horizon League defender, really gets after you on the defensive end. Not that great of a three-point shooter, but has a good mid-range game, tall, lanky, and can get after you on both ends of the floor. Jalen Tate's going to be able to stretch the floor at 6'9", can really shoot the rock, can get to the rim, has some improving to do when that comes that category. But I think Arkansas fans are excited to see a lot of size and length that's been added to this basketball team, because that's where you really struggled this past season. Got your APR scores in for all Arkansas sports, and one of the ones that stands out is the football team. Had a single-year score of 895, and it's the lowest score in 4 years, and it's the first time since 2012, 2013 that their score has been the lowest in the previous year.
This is a byproduct of transition. This is a byproduct of the coach leaving.
Transfers.
Remember, with the APR, you get a point for eligibility and a point for retention for the player. So if a player leaves not eligible and they leave and they're not eligible, that's an 0 for 2 there. So even when players are leaving, you want them to leave academically eligible. And when you've had as many coaching changes as Arkansas's had since Petrino, I mean, these things just seem to pile up, and these are running 4-year averages. But, yeah, this low 1 year that's dragging it down to 962, that's just a byproduct of a lack of stability within your program.
And I think it's 935. Once you go below that is when you get scholarship reductions and
please
limitations.
Please don't put us on a bowl ban. Whatever you do, we don't need a bowl ban, right?
And Tommy, let me ask you this: when you're leaving, do you have any incentive to do well in class? Like when you know you're out the door, think about.
Depends on where you're going. I mean, you want to arrive as academically intact as you can. So, yeah, I think you do have an incentive if you care at all about graduating someday.
Is there, but okay, so if you know you're out,
you want those hours to transfer, right? You know you're going from Arkansas to somewhere else. You'd like those hours to transfer so you're not, because you got to stay on course. The SEC has a rule, and I can't give you the specifics, but I know there's a rule in place where you have to be on pace with the hours completed for your class. So if you're a freshman, you got to have X number of hours. Sophomore, junior, on up, you got to have so many hours completed and pass them. Passing hours.
Trying to see the minimum GPA requirement for SEC schools.
Now, if you're leaving and going to another league, doesn't matter, and most people do, but why would you want to waste your time or have to retake classes? I had to take enough classes over just as it was on my own merits. I don't want to take any, particularly college algebra. I don't want anything else to do with college algebra. So
I was fortunate enough where I didn't have to retake any classes, but there was 1 or 2 where I thought I was going to have to.
The problem is a lot of times when the end of a season, so when is football over for a lot of programs? It's in January. You've got to make a decision. All right, am I going to leave at the end of this semester? If you're leaving, how did you do through the semester of the season? And football ought to have an advantage there, right? Because players' class loads should be a little bit lighter during season, during fall semester. They ramp up their academics in spring and summer so they can particularly with the key players, have a little less pressure on them in the fall. But if you're going to leave, you need a player to leave probably after the fall semester and be gone somewhere else before spring for this one reason. So just kind of seems logical to me.
One more quick headline for you. The Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary was the most watched ever. It averaged 5.6 million viewers over the course of 10 episodes. Any idea what the second one is without what you're looking at? The rundown. Do you know?
Yeah, I know it's the Bo Jackson.
Yeah, it's the Bo Jackson. I would have never guessed the Bo Jackson.
I wouldn't have either.
But that's pretty surprising. But Michael Jordan's Last Dance, and I think that's a combination, Tommy, of not only it being Michael Jordan, but this dead period of sports right now,
so,
as we don't really have anything else to watch. 877-377-6963, the number to call or text in. Coming up, how many times were you ranked in the top 25?
Nobody compares to you.
Y'all are more important right now to the public than you've ever been, and just keep up the good work. We enjoy the banter and the jokes and the carrying on. It's just a blast.
Nobody compares to you.
ESPN Radio proudly recognizes National Military Appreciation Month, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union.
David Robinson entered the U.S. Naval Academy in 1983 and led the basketball team to 82 wins in 3 years, including an improbable run to the Elite Eight in 1986. After graduating in 87, he was drafted #1 overall. His NBA career was put on hold as he spent 2 years on active duty in the Civil Engineering Corps. He went on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NBA.
No one is more reliable than you, the brave men and women of the military. Whether you're on active duty or a veteran, you're always there for us. That's why Navy Federal Credit Union has been there for you since 1933. Now more than ever, we want to thank you. So we're saying it by offering special deals on credit cards, car loans, and certificates. Go to NavyFederal.org/celebrate to find out more. It's just a small token of our appreciation for our reliable military members. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Spring is here and there's no better time to get out of the house and back on the road. Time for the windows rolled down and the radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands such as Toyo. Trust us for your last minute getaways, open road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you are free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo. We keep you rolling.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. It's a difficult time right now, and social distancing is vitally important. That's why I'm here to encourage you to keep running. It's a great way to exercise in solitude, build up your immune system, and keep from going stir-crazy. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more tips on how to take care of yourself during this time. And remember, just keep running. This has been brought to you by True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Hey sports fans, this is Scott from Calico County and wanted to let you know that we have reopened our dining room. Of course, we're doing all the things that the health department requires us to do with limited seating, distancing, and the other measures to keep you protected. During this time, we're continuing our curbside pickup. We also are still offering delivery through the Waiter app and DoorDash app, and also wanted to let you know that our catering is still available. So for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to TeamUltra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's TeamUltra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at TeamUltra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where the recovery is on. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about getting back to doing what we do the way we do it. And that means making it fun and easy to get into a nicer, newer car at Rath Auto Resources. We're doing our part by offering up to $2,800 below retail and no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Plus, we extended the $1,200 Rath Auto Relief on select inventory. That's $1,200 to use as you choose on a special selection of Rath Road Ready inventory while they last. Or let us take care of the car you have in the Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. The recovery is on with up to $2,800 off retail, no payments for 90 days, and $1,200 Rath Auto Relief on select inventory at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, Towson and Phoenix, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Pick it up a little bit, okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Hey, you guys all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
How many times were you ranked in the 2010 and 2011 season over the course of 26 weeks? You'll be surprised the answer. We'll get into it coming up in just a sec. Before we do that, I want to tell you about World of Wireless.
877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Hey, World of Wireless has moved to a new location right at the light next door to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barley. They're where Church Street and Fort, which is also 255 and Highway 22. I know it's confusing, but they're just 2 miles east of the previous location. Easy to find. Here's the easiest thing. Their phone number hasn't changed at all, 877-305-DISH. So the same phone number still works. They're now a Google Home store, so go to the showroom. They can show you all the home automation that you might want to, including from cameras to Nest thermostats to a lot of stuff with Google, with their hubs and everything to make your home run more smoothly and easily and less frustrating for you. That's 877-305-DISH for Wow World of Wireless.
See, yesterday, Tommy was doing a little research preparing for the Jarius Wright interview, and he asked me the question, Ty, how many times was Arkansas ranked during the 2010 season? Gave me the number of weeks, and then also asked me about 2011, and I legitimately had no idea.
Hey, Jenkins, do you know? Let's ask Jenkins, because he wasn't in here when we had this conversation. 2010, Arkansas went 10-3. 2011, they went 11-2. Something wrong with your mic? Oh, I don't have it turned up. That would be wrong. Why I can't hear you? Why can't I hear you? All right, so 10-11, they won, as we all know, went 21-5. How many weeks in the 2010 season do you think Arkansas was in the top 25? Out of the 13 games, how many was Arkansas ranked?
In 2010?
In the 2010, how many weeks of those 13 games, how many do they have a number by their name?
I know they were ranked. I'm thinking out loud. So I know they were ranked during the Alabama game.
Mm-hmm.
They were 10th, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
Yep.
They were 16th when they played Georgia the week prior, I believe. 8. I feel like we were ranked.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say 8 weeks because
Okay.
I don't think we were ranked to start the year. And then, yeah, I'll go with 8. 8 weeks.
The answer is all of them.
That's why
the answer is all of them. And I didn't know this. I was just looking through the seasons and trying to pick out some of the games and scores with Jay Wright, who we're going to have on. And I'm like, wow. All right, so 2011, they went 11-2. How many weeks do you think they were ranked in that season out of those 13?
All of them.
All of them's the answer, right? Yeah. So for
some reason, I thought we were unranked to start the 2010 year.
Start of the year at 17, climbed to number 8, and that's where we'll get to the losses they had. You were number 6, beat number 6 LSU to go to the Sugar Bowl, where you played number 6 Ohio State. You were number 8 at that point after beating LSU. So the highest you got was 8. You started the season at 17. Think about that for a second. Every week of the 2010 and every week of the 2011 season, for 2 consecutive years, you were not outside the top 25. And let me even go a step further. You were not out. The lowest you went was 21.
Yeah.
21 in those 2 years.
And how many of those?
And that's a decade ago. And you're sitting here trying to figure out, now you can't win 2 games more than 2 in a year.
How many of those weeks in 2011 were we in the top 10?
I can check that.
I mean,
hang on. I wrote that down. In the 2 seasons, you had 10 top 10 rankings. So 10 of those 26 weeks, you were 10 or better.
And I know we've talked about this previously. Like I remember that 2010, 2011 stretch because there was not a day that went by. I can't remember. Was the BCS the bowl show that they did when they did the rankings was like on a Monday or a Tuesday night.
Monday night.
There was not a day when that came by where me, my mom, and dad were not glued to the TV just to see if we were moving up.
That's how relevant you were. I mean, that's the point of this conversation, isn't it, Ty? This is how relevant you were.
And just to put it in perspective, in 2012, you were ranked 2 weeks. 2015, you were ranked 2 weeks. In 2016, you were ranked 6 weeks. So relative to that decade, again, Tommy mentioned all 26 games, you were ranked in the 2010 and 2011 season. So literally combined, the rest of the decade, 10 weeks is what you're ranked. That's it. The rest of the decade, from 2012 all the way through, 10 weeks is the only times you were ranked, or 10 games or whatever. So that really puts it in perspective, and that's got to be painful to everyone listening right now because it's really frustrating and really aggravating. You remember when Dari Noka had those comments a while back when Brett Bielema he was like, Arkansas, it was something to the extent of Arkansas fans need to just be happy of where they're at, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember the exact quote, but put Arkansas, and relatively so because, like, obviously he didn't do his research, and all he had to do was point to that. And I heard Ruskin talking about this yesterday. I think the expectations for Arkansas fans, and if these aren't your expectations, you need to reevaluate them. The expectations for you as an Arkansas fan should be at least 7 wins a year. And then once every about 4 years, you compete for the SEC West title. Now, during those 3 years where you're winning, 7, 8, 9 games, you should get 1 or 2 wins that you're not supposed to. But you should. This program is not in the right place to compete, obviously now, but this program should not be expected to compete for an SEC West title every single year, a national championship every single year. This is not the program of the 60s or the 70s. A lot has changed since then. That being said, the expectations have gone down tremendously, have just shot down because of what happened with Brett Bielema, because of what happened with Chad Morris. That doesn't mean you can't get back to that point. So anytime you hear a national college football broadcaster, an analyst, a writer say that Arkansas fans should be happy with where they're at, all I got to point to is 8 years ago and say 9 years ago and say, well, look what they did this year. Look what they did then. So anytime someone does that, make sure you, now that you have the knowledge that Tommy has blessed you with, say, well,
I just read the media guide and regurgitated it for you.
But I think that's I don't think a lot of people, at least I feel like
I didn't know that until we were looking at it. Because, I mean, what do you want to Jarius Wright played 2008 to 11. He had the 4 years that Petrino were here. That's when he started. That's when he ended. It was Petrino's last year. I mean, the years you focus on are 10 and 11. I mean, 08 they went 5-7, then 8-5. I was just looking through these games, and it just stood out to me that they never were unranked. I mean, that's how solid, because that's the days we harken back to right now. Mm-hmm. And they weren't, as you say, they weren't that long ago. So, I mean, I even look at the losses. We'll get to these, how quality the losses were. You didn't lose to a team in those 2 years that were in the 5 losses that was outside the top 7. You lost 3 of those 5 to teams that were ranked 1, 2, or 3.
And where did 3 of those teams over the course of 3 of the 5 teams that you lost to over the course of 2 years, where did they end up?
National champion.
The national championship. Auburn in 2010, LSU and Alabama in 2011. So 3 of the 5 losses that you accumulated from 2010 and 2011, those teams played in the national championship. Think about that. How many teams across college football over its history could say that in their 2 years, over 50% of the losses were against national champion contenders. I don't think it's many. Now, you could maybe find one or two because college football has been going on a long time, but
and Ohio State was the other one, so that no slouch there.
Yeah, it's not like you. And then the other one was Alabama in 2010, so that's not another slouch year. I know Alabama, that was the year they lost to South Carolina, and I think they lost to LSU also that year, and they lost to one. I think they finished the season 9-3.
The South Carolina loss was the week following playing in Fayetteville.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the next week?
No, because I looked it up the other day. 2 weeks. So that, but the beatdown that they took, I think they played, Tommy, some, I want to say it was like a lower tier team, but the beatdown, kind of like you often saw with Brett Bielema team, you could tell the beatdown from that Arkansas game, even though Alabama was able to win it. That's what happened. Let's go to, we just lost our phone call. Joe in Fayetteville, if you want to call back, you go and do that. Andy in Mountain Home texted in. He says, this is depressing. Yeah, it's a little depressing to us when we found out about this stat yesterday because, again, it goes back to the point where you at one point in time were as high as a Tier 2 team in college football as you can get without reaching in that Tier 1 category, and now you're the laughing stock of the SEC. That's how college football happens. That's how college sports happens, where you can be at the top of your game at one moment, whether it's a coaching change, which you saw with Bobby Petrino getting the motorcycle wreck, whether it's losing out on a recruiting class or two. Sometimes this just happened, and it just happens, and you've seen it with Arkansas football.
Well, but it shows you what's possible at Arkansas. And this happened at a time where, and you went through it just 1 minute ago, that the really unfortunate thing is you were really good at a time where LSU and Bama were just a little bit better. I mean, you had your best teams at a time where the SEC West was at its absolute best. Auburn had the 1 year where they were really good, and then you also faced off the best Alabama teams and the best LSU teams of, maybe not the best LSU teams since they just won the national title, but they were nationally the best teams in the country those years. If it hadn't been for the timing of that, Arkansas may be on that top shelf for that couple of years. At least had gotten to a championship game, perhaps.
You think about Florida 2006 when Urban Meyer and company won the national championship that year. You went up against a really talented Florida Gator team. It seems like when Arkansas, has been at its highest, you've had to contend with another team that goes on to win a national championship. 2002, you lost to Georgia. I don't remember what Georgia finished that year because in 2002, that would have been it was either Miami or Ohio State that won the national championship that year. I'm forgetting, but you've had to go against great teams when you've either met them in the SEC championship or met them in the regular season. And because this conference is so talented, a lot of times those teams either end up being national championship contenders or, as you saw in 2010 and 2011, ended up being in the national championship.
I don't know where Georgia ended up, but they were ranked 4th when Arkansas played them in the SEC championship. So
that was David Pollock.
Beat Arkansas 30-3. Arkansas was ranked 22nd.
Yeah, I think David Green was the quarterback back then. I can't remember. That was when I was pretty young. I was like 5 or 6 years old, so forgive me, or maybe a little older, but forgive me if my expertise on that team is not up to snuff.
The thing that really just pissed you off is then they went and just laid that egg in Nashville against Minnesota in the Music City Bowl. That was one of those classic examples of effort and who wants to be here. Minnesota wanted to be there a lot more than Arkansas in that game. They just kind of ended with a dud, to 29-14 against Minnesota.
JT in Hot Springs text in. He says that over the course of 4 seasons, and this is what his Alabama friend suggested that they should be. First season 6-6, have 8-4, 8-4. 9-3, and then 11-1. I think he's got 10 seasons. Okay, so over the course of 10 seasons, he thinks they should have 1 6-6 year, 4 8-4 years, 4 9-3 years, and 1 11-1 year. I think as an Arkansas fan, you take pretty much anything compared to what you've had the last 3 years right now when you've gone 4-8, 2-10, and 2-10.
Let's break that down, dissect that a little bit. You're not in a day and a time where you can just chalk up, at least not for Arkansas, 4 non-conference wins. You ought to be able, if you're a decent program on an SEC level, to say 3. With the current scheduling formula, you ought to have 3 built-in wins there, right? So you ought to on average, win 1 out of 2, 2 out of 3. You tell me the number of that Power 5 non-con game you play. Like you got Notre Dame on the schedule this year.
Texas
next
year.
Coming up the year following. You got BYU coming up on the schedule. Oklahoma State. You're not going to win all of those. So, let's just say it's 3.5 there. Well, how many are you going to win out of 8 on average in the SEC? So you say, well, they ought to win at least 8. I don't disagree with you, but just do the math. I mean, if you're going to win 8, that means you got to win all of your non-conference games every year, and then you got to go at least 4-4 in the SEC. And 4-4 in the West is not as that's not just as easy as it sounds, unless you're Alabama, unless you're LSU.
It's not a walk in the park.
No, sir.
Absolutely
So,
not.
I mean, if you just do the math on how you arrive there, if you get 3.5, if you get 3.5 non-conference wins, can you count on 4 conference wins to get there every year? Arkansas's nowhere near being able to do that.
If you're just jumping in the conversation, Tommy looked up the statistic yesterday. Arkansas was ranked in the top 25 all 26 games over the course of the 2010-2011 season. Just to put that in perspective, you have only been ranked 10 weeks, 10 games from 2012 all the way up through 2019. That's something. The fact that you in 2 years had twice as many rankings as you did back in 2010 and 2011. And it's a bummer that we're having to talk about it right now, but that's where we're at. And I keep getting texts from different people about this season. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? And I have still not got on sports radio since being in the business and seen what the callers are like, what the listeners are like when Arkansas's having a banner year. Because I didn't start, so I started in 2014 or 2015 when Arkansas went. So 2014 they go 7-6, and then the following year they go 8-5, and that was when I began my sports radio career. So I have yet to see the reaction of our listeners when Arkansas is actually competing for an SEC West title or having a really, really solid season, which I hope that that's not the case where it continues on forever and ever. So
yeah, I mean, these things are cyclical. I mean, I remember being your age and going through the 90s where there just was not anything. I mean, from Jack Crow on. I mean, I grew up as a kid, a teenager, watching those Quinn Grovey teams win Southwest Conference titles. And then I became a little older teenager and watched Arkansas enter the SEC. And Ken Hatfield leaves in 1990, and Jack Crow takes over, and it just all comes apart. I mean, and then you're trying to deal with going to the SEC in 92, and you're trying to deal with all of this stuff in your program that some of it you're excited about, but then the results aren't there. And you just, so it didn't seem like it was ever going to end. And then 98 came along and it ended. This has been a little bit longer, prolonged stretch, but this too shall pass. I mean, it just seems like Arkansas in my lifetime had 2 of these just unbelievable stretches of downturn here.
Got a text out of the 417 asking the question. Houston Nutt won and a bunch of idiots ran him off. He's now saying, how do you like me now? I remember this past season, they're doing a little bit talking about Arkansas football, and I believe it was Adam Zucker. It was either Zook or another studio host for CBS. It's like, well, they need Houston Nutt. And Houston Nutt, it was one of the funniest reactions I've ever seen. He cups his hand together and looks at the television screen and just, like, smirks a little bit because I don't know if he revels in the fact that Arkansas football hasn't had success, but I think he does like when his name is mentioned or he's asked for advice on who the next coach should be or kind of around that nature, because I know he didn't have the level of success that Bobby Petrino did, especially in a shortened period of time. But he does like being mentioned whenever the Arkansas job comes up or when he's asked advice, because there was some success that Arkansas did have when Houston Dale Nutt was at Arkansas.
Houston had a solid 10-year run, but he was 75-49 in 10 seasons. That's 7.5 wins a year. Let's not turn this guy into Bear Bryant here in the conversation. Now, so, He won 75 games in 10 years. Arkansas hadn't had a coach really to do anywhere close to that. Now, Bobby Petrino in 4 years won 34. That's 8.5. Who knows what would have happened if he had stayed for a 5th, 6th, 7th year. If he'd have made 10 years, I don't know if he'd have won 75 or not. We'll never know. But to put it in perspective, Bielema won 29 in 5 years. So, I mean, on average, I mean, I think the best thing about Nutt is he's able to survive and win enough to make it 10 years. 10 years in this league, that's very difficult to do.
The personalities always seem to get in the way of these guys. Like, I just got a text in here from Jimmy that says Houston was a punk. And it's hard to not let your ego get away as a head football coach. And you think about the infamous, hey, what did he say? That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck. What game was that? Mississippi State? Was it Mississippi State on the road back in the day?
Everybody remembers the clip. I thought it was an Ole Miss game, but I don't know.
So that's one of the things where it seemed like Houston Nutt was unwilling to, like, one of the things you appreciate about Sam Pittman, Tommy, is his CEO-like approach. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I appreciate since I've arrived here is, I'm good at social media stuff. I'm good at not producing, setting up the show and stuff. And you've taken a CEO type approach where you let me handle the stuff I'm good at. And that's what you appreciate about Sam Pittman as well. Is it seems like he's given the offensive keys to Kendall Briles. He's given the defensive keys to Barry Odom. And then he's just got to take that CEO type of approach to running this Arkansas football team. Houston Nutt wanted to be in so many different parts of the offense, and that's why it was never going to work between him and Gus, because he wanted too much of a role when he couldn't just let it go. Because Gus
wanted the credit.
Yeah.
The bottom line is he wanted the credit for the success, and that's one reason he didn't let any of his assistants really ever have chats with the media. I mean, that was Houston talked to the media every day after practice. He was the last coach really to do that. Petrino would mix it up. Every coach sent it's overexposure, but he didn't want any of the assistants talking. So he wanted the credit for all of it.
And I'd be lying if it doesn't feel good when I get credit for certain things or someone mentions my name or I get recognized in public, but you can't let that egotistical approach get in the way of success or get in the way of what you need to do as a head football coach. And it seemed like with him, obviously it hurt Bobby Petrino in a separate way where he's like, well, I'm the head football coach at the University of Arkansas. I can pay someone illegally and I can have an affair and it won't. I'm not going to get fired. I'm not going to.
I can lie about it and it won't matter.
I'm going to lie to my boss to this, and it's not going to affect me. That happened. So it comes from again.
But there was also ego with Jeff Long involved. Let's not kid ourselves.
No, that's true because he wanted to be.
I'm in charge. I'm the AD.
In a sense, like the pastor striking down the sinner in Bobby Petrino and condemning him and saying, you don't do this.
I never thought of it that way.
I mean, that's
right.
essentially what it was. I mean, we're in the Bible Belt, and he wanted to hold this up moral standard, and that's essentially what he did with Bobby Petrino.
It was a power play. He wanted to be the most visible person still in the athletic department, and he wasn't because his football coach had won 21 games in 2 years.
Yeah, and that's a difficult thing, and I think you've brought up the point before how much more difficult would have been if Arkansas had won that game against Ohio State and he had that BCS Bowl on his notch, because you saw him wear the Sugar Bowl hat to that press conference after his motorcycle wreck. What if he had worn that hat and they had won the game? Is that the single difference in Bobby Petrino being your head coach or not, is the loss in the Sugar Bowl? Because you could make the case, how rabid you are as an Arkansas football fan. Would you look past it? That guy got you to your first BCS Bowl appearance ever. What if he had won? Would that have changed anything?
Yes.
That's a guy. I would think there would at least be a little more thought into that, but that's something we'll never know because it didn't occur.
Jarius Wright's coming up. I don't know if we'll get to that in the conversation, but we'll have him in just a little over an hour. And I just think
you want to ask him about Bobby's motorcycle wreck?
I'll ask him about Bobby. I don't know about the wreck, but he would have been he'd have been gone by then. I mean, he wasn't around. Really not a lot of, he'd have known guys on the team, but he was finished by then. So I don't know if that would be a question that we get much of an answer to. But the point is, we're having Jarius on, and, it just seems like it was a lifetime ago since Arkansas had this success. It was a decade ago, and that's a long time. But the point is, you spent 2 seasons and you're never outside of the top 21 in the country, according to the rankings. And if it can happen then, it can happen again. And hopefully you got the right coach in place, and that's what we're all hoping. We don't know. We're just hoping the right coach is here to maybe get just a morsel of that success again. Hey, do you invest in real estate only to find out you're investing as much of your time as you are your money? Tired of the phone ringing in the middle of the night or every weekend with the biggest problems you got to deal with that turn out to be small problems? Let Trinity Multifamily deal with all of it. They got years of combined property management experience, and they service over 20,000 units in 15 different states. If you need a great property manager, call Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817, or read more online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily is your teammate in the real estate game.
Coming up, the Michael Jordan pizza delivery guy came forward. We'll hit on that next.
January, yippee! February, cha-ching! March, booyah!
12 months, 12 reasons to celebrate with the new month for a year scratch-off tickets from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.
April, bam! May,
you could win top prizes the equivalent of $500, up to $20,000 a month for an entire year.
June, woohoo! July, hello!
Go ahead, make your year. Get your ticket today. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Huzzah!
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Need to see a doctor but you're concerned about going? River Valley Primary Care is now seeing patients at all 10 clinics by video and phone visits. See a doctor today who can diagnose your condition and prescribe medication if needed. These visits are now covered by most insurance plans. River Valley Primary Care in Ratcliffe, Mountainburg, Mulberry, Clarksville, Lavaca, Lamar, Waldron, and 3 locations in Fort Smith. Call 479-431-2050 or go online to rvpcs.org. See a doctor today by video or phone with River Valley Primary Care.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
The Golf Nut is open and is always ready to help with all your golfing needs. The Trackman and Foresight indoor simulators are open. Play a round of golf on courses like Pebble Beach, Royal Troon, Bethpage Black, and many more. Club fitting is available by appointment or take the time to just work on your game. The Golf Nut has a great selection of shoes and apparel, plus a great line of golf accessories. Check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
In sports, success is measured in the number of points scored, in games won, and in championships earned. At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us. In fact, 9 out of 10 people surveyed with a claim would recommend Shelter to a friend. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina. 0% for 84 months on nearly every 2020 Buick and GMC in stock at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get 0 for 84 on 2020 GMC Sierra 1500s, Yukons, Terrains, and Acadias, plus 0 for 84 on Buick Enclaves, Buick Encores, and Envisions. If you're even thinking about a new vehicle, stop by Harry Robinson and let us show you how you can save thousands. 0% for 84 months at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Lots of sunshine today, or a chance of a few isolated showers or storms across the north, or high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. We will see clear to partly cloudy skies tonight, and overnight low in the mid to upper 50s. A chance of isolated showers or storms for Thursday, or high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And then it looks like Friday will end up with a 50-50 chance of showers and storms. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hi, this is Phil Ellison. Listen to me and my buddies Matt Travis and Matt Smackdown Jenkins Monday through Friday, 12 to 2. It's halftime here on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Quantum Property Services, buying, selling, investing, and encompassing all your property needs.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station. Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Number one.
This is The Morning Rush. Borderline erotic. With Ty Richardson.
Sunshine. That's cool. I can dig it.
And Tommy Kraft.
Do I look happy? What's wrong?
Lloyd!
The Morning Rush starts right now.
So in the Last Dance documentary, it was confirmed, and I have air quotes around confirmed because I don't know if I believe the story, by Michael Jordan, his trainer Tim Grover, and a couple of his buddies, that the flu game was actually a result of bad pizza. And I want to get into this coming up because the guy that delivered the pizza, Craig Fight, actually went on a Salt Lake City radio station and discussed his side of the story. I want to get into that conversation coming up. Before we do that, I want to tell you about Mosquito Joe.
Yeah, don't let mosquitoes, ticks, or fleas ruin your outdoor activities this Memorial Day weekend. Call Mosquito Joe. They'll be on their way. They know how to treat for mosquitoes. They know where they live during the day, where to treat them at, and how to keep them out of your backyard all summer long. They have a monthly program where they come back and they treat every few weeks to make sure mosquitoes stay away from your outdoor activities. Your first service is only $39. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960. That's 479-202-9960. Or you get those numbers and more details about how it all works online at arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. That's Arkansas Mosquito Joe, 479-202-9960.
So again, Craig Fight, who is the guy that said he delivered the pizza to Michael Jordan when he was working for a local Pizza Hut in Park City, talked about this on 1280 The Zone in Salt Lake City. Here's what he had to say about the exchange.
Anyway, we get up there, and boy, as soon as that door opened, I mean, it felt like, got punched in the face with cigar smoke. I remember one of the players saying, "Oh, hey, pizza." And they, "Who's that for?" And I said, "I don't know. It's room," and I can't remember the room number, but I said, "It's room this." And they went, "Oh, for Mike. Oh, leave it alone." And then we go over, and I knock on the door. And then this great guy who's been saying all this crap lately, I'm sure he's a good guy. But anyway, he answers the door, barely opens up the door and looks out and I said, hey, identify the company I was with, and here's the pizza delivery. He goes, okay, hold on. And then he shuts the door. And then he goes ahead, and from there, he kind of hands me 20. This time he opens the door up a little bit more, and I can hear some commotion going on there. And he hands me the 20 and made a gesture to me. He said, hey, you obviously keep the change or whatever. And I'm handing him the pizza, and I said, hey, can I at least say hi to Mike? Why not? It's my one shot, right? The door kind of opens up a little bit more. Mike's in the room sitting at the chair. He's playing cards or whatever, and raises his hand. He said, thanks, man. And then the guy looked at me and shut the door, and that's the extent of the whole story.
So Grover in The Last Dance said it was 5 guys that delivered the pizza.
Right.
Fight says it was him and the delivery driver. He was the assistant manager at the time and also a Bulls fan. And
he's
so
a Mike fan.
Yeah, and so Michael Jordan fan. And so he wanted to make sure that none of the Utah Jazz fans that were working with him screwed up the pizza somehow. So he apparently he made it. He was the assistant manager. He was the only one on staff at the time. He actually wasn't supposed to leave, but he did regardless. He said the pizza never left his possession.
Well, Tim Grover was on with Levitard yesterday. Did you hear any of that?
I did not listen to that.
So he's going through this story, and it just doesn't all add up. And here's one thing he said yesterday. I don't think we have this sound, but he said, we racked our brains, me and George, Mike's best friend and buddy, we racked our brains for 20 years, and we couldn't come up with the name of that pizza place. Not sure who it was, and they never could name it. Now, are you trying to convince me that Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, the NBA, with all of their resources, couldn't come up with the name of which particular pizza company you used in Salt Lake City? This wasn't like it was a national, hey, we got to find out. They knew. To me, this whole story from their end doesn't hold water about how it was all done. The facts keep changing. I'm not in with Jordan on that story. I don't believe that to be 100% either.
Again, I agree with you. Here's another audio piece from this story.
We got a call. The guy all of a sudden motioned me over because he knew I was the only Bulls fan in the store. Well, he comes over and he goes, hey, I think it's the Bulls. And he goes, I don't know why, but if I heard so-and-so correct, and I can't remember who he was speaking with, but someone that worked over at the Marriott, he goes, it might be, one of the players. Okay, good. I go, oh, well, I'm delivering it. In fact, I may have been the manager on duty and shouldn't have left the store. I don't know. I could have gotten in trouble for that. But I was like, hey, I will make the pizza. And I remember saying this, I will make the pizza because I don't want any of you doing anything to it. And I said, and then I told the driver, I said, you're going to take me there. It'll be my first delivery. And I was like, oh.
So I thought that was kind of funny because he was like, I'm taking responsibility for this. I'm the Bulls fan. I don't want any of you Utah Jazz fans trying to mess up this pizza for the Bulls. And that's a funny situation. And he also said, and this one is important as an audio clip, but he said it was a large, thin crust pepperoni pizza. Oh. And reportedly, Michael, when he got it, spit on all the pieces so no one else would want any of them. So, classic Jordan.
Yeah, they said that Jordan would do that with his food kind of all the time. He'd either fake spit or act like he was spitting on his food. 'Cause he had a real phobia about people messing with his food. He didn't want you, stealing a French fry off his plate or any of that. He wanted no nonsense with his food. He was very guarded about that.
I just don't, like you said with Grover, I just don't understand how they couldn't remember or figure out what it was. This whole story is fishy to me.
I mean, you're in a city. I know Salt Lake City's different than a lot of, sports markets as far as because of the religious beliefs in a place like Salt Lake City. And I've spent time in the airport there. That's about it. But are you telling me if Michael Jordan was hungry, the only thing open, the only restaurant available, because that's how they told the story, right? The only thing we could find at 10:30 at night was a pizza? I find that part of the story a little, maybe it was that way 23 years ago. But I just find that a little fishy too, in the way that they bring it to the door, and he says in the documentary, something about this felt right from the. Then why'd you let him eat it? 5 guys at the door, which we don't believe that to be. Just something about that whole. It just doesn't add up. It's like it's been enhanced to create more of the folklore, more of the legend of Michael Jordan and how he played so well in a game that he was so sick. I don't doubt that he was sick. It's just how did he get sick?
In a game, he scored 38 points. And as you said, you could tell he was visibly sick, but this documentary seemed to embellish that the pizza was the main, if not the only reason for the cause of that. I'm under the impression, I mean, like, to me, I think also Fight laid it out as like it was pepperoni sausage and cheese, or pepperoni and cheese and sauce, and and how many times have you gotten food poisoning off pizza? I've never, like,
off a fresh pizza, not one that's set in your fridge for 3 or 4 days, or what,
Correct.
One that was just made hot, brought to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't think of, and I'm lucky to the fact that I've never had food poisoning, and hopefully, knock on wood, that never occurs. But my stomach is also an iron steel because I can eat a lot, and I just don't. This story doesn't compute with me, and I think it's fascinating because there's a lot of stuff that you got out of this documentary. But as we've talked about, Michael Jordan's production company got final say on all of this, so you really didn't see. You saw a couple things that may have raised your eyebrows a little bit. It's like, oh, why did Jordan do this? That doesn't make him look in the best light. But this wasn't like a scathing documentary when it comes to assassinating his personal character.
Oh, this doesn't take away from my enjoyment of watching all 10 parts. And I think like a lot of you guys, I'm sad that it's over, because now what? That was the one kind of sports thing I had to look forward to on the weekends, was the Michael Jordan documentary.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I mean, so now what?
It's been vanquished.
I know ESPN's going to roll some other ones out, but there's very few people you could do an in-depth 10-parter on and get the same interest as what you just had in these 10.
100%. We talked about it earlier in the Quick Hitty headlines, how this documentary dwarfed every other ESPN 30 for 30 or documentary by a long shot. The second one is You Don't Know Bo with Bo Jackson, and it crushed it. Average viewing, 5.6 million viewers. Bo was like 3 point something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it goes to show you how many people, not only old but young, gravitated to this documentary to learn more about Michael Jordan. 877-377-6963, the number to call or text in. What is the best home atmosphere at Arkansas? Baum, Bud, or Donald W.? That's next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I absolutely love your show. I can't listen to anything else on the drive to work in the morning other than the morning rush.
What's your more? Maybe it's more time to pursue work on your golf swing. At the old course at St. Andrews. Whatever you'd like more of, Powerball from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery can turn those dreams into reality. And the next drawing is for more than $90 million. So go to your local lottery retailer and get your ticket to more today. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
0% for 84 months on nearly every 2020 Buick and GMC in stock at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get 0 for 84 on 2020 GMC Sierra 1500s, Yukons, Terrains, and Acadias, plus 0 for 84 on Buick Enclaves, Buick Encores, and Envisions. If you're even thinking about a new vehicle, stop by Harry Robinson and let us show you how you can save thousands. 0% for 84 months at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Folks, we at Mosquito Joe understand how important your yard is. It's where some of your best memories are made with your family. It's where you play catch with your kids or grandkids. It's where you have your friends over for those backyard barbecues. You don't have to keep letting mosquitoes crash the party. There's a solution for that now. Mosquito Joe protects your yard so you can focus on what's important. Call Mosquito Joe today. Get your first service for just $39. 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960. Or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Frankrow Furniture's grand reopening. You heard right. Frankrow Furniture is reopening after closing down for your safety. Made in the USA, Speed Queen, washers and dryers, Jackson and Catnapper sofas and loves, all made in the USA. Frankrow Furniture is reopening May 11. Reopening May 11. Family owned for 28 years. In-store no credit check financing and service after the sale. Frankrow Furniture. 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
To feel the calming effects of nature, take a deep breath. In and out. Every breath makes you feel closer to nature. And every sip makes nature feel closer to you. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold. Beer in its organic form.
Fresh means fresh, as in no preservatives. That's right. If it's fresh, it doesn't need to be preserved. Try Jim's 100% premium Wisconsin cheese. Fresh whole milk mozzarella, wood smoked provolone, old world style Romano and Parmesan. The freshest all-you-can-eat salad bar in town. No preservatives and fresh every time. At the corner of Greenwood and Gary in Fort Smith.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474, or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. World of Wireless has moved just a few miles east, next to Frankrow Furniture in Barling.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I bet you got a lot of nice ties.
What do you mean?
You want to tie me up with some of your ties? Ty?
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Wanted to get in conversation of what home atmosphere at the U of A is best. Baum Walker, Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, or Bud Walton Arena. And we'll get into that conversation coming up in just a sec. Before we do that, I want to tell you about Joe's Grill and Cantina.
I had me some Joe's last night on a Taco Tuesday. They had the $1 tacos. I got some good news for you guys. The dining room is opening back up at Joe's Grill and Cantina just in time for Fajita Friday, this Friday. So May 22nd, you can go. Now, with all of the guidelines and the CDC requirements and health department, you know, we all know about that, 33%, they got 24 tables available. So, you know, be aware of just, you know, all of the guidelines every restaurant's having to follow to take care of social distancing. So they're asking you to make a reservation. So call them at 478-9600, make a reservation, and make sure when you get there, you're not having to wait, 30 or 45 minutes. They got the outside patio when the weather's great, and it's supposed to be nice for the next few days. And they're still doing the curbside to-go orders as well as the family pack. So everything they've been doing for the last few weeks doesn't go away. They're just going to have 24 tables available. Also, the regulations require you to have a mask with you. Now, the good thing about a Mexican restaurant is they're going to put chips and salsa on the table, so you don't have to. You just kind of got to get to your table, right? And then you can't have groups of 10 or more. So keep all of that in mind. 478-9600. Make a reservation. You can do a Friday night out at Joe's Grill and Cantina starting this Friday as they'll reopen the dining room at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Make a reservation, 478-9600.
Ty's Taste of the Town might be going there next week. We need
Yeah.
to wait about that.
We need to get going on that deal. One of our brainstorming projects.
I completely copied that off of Todd Blackledge during his. I don't think they do it on ESPN anymore, but I know they used to, and it was tremendous.
They do a Taste of the Town deal. You go to whatever town he was in and have something really delicious.
And I envy that. And he's in good shape for all the crap he was eating, to be honest. So good prop for him for having a great metabolism. Hopefully mine stays intact. Best home court field stadium advantage. Is it Baum Walker Stadium? Is it Bud Walton Arena? Is it, if you want to go back and say Barnhill, a lot of people would say Barnhill is what it is. Is it Donald W? Where's it at? We're going to get in our opinions on this, and if you want to get on the conversation, 877-377-6963. So let's list off a couple cool highlights from each game. We'll do the Brady Toops Grand Slam, Ronnie Wingo's wheel route, and then when Cal got tossed in the Kentucky game last season. We'll start with Brady Toops Grand Slam.
Brady stands in from the left side. Bannock's going to work from the stretch with the bases loaded. The pitch is coming, swinging a fly ball to left field, hit pretty well. Going back is Napolitan. That ball's gone! That's a Grand Slam home run! Brady Toops just hit a Grand Slam home run! And the Razorbacks have taken the lead!
What a moment that was for Arkansas baseball. I think you've said on the program before that that's really what changed Arkansas baseball at home.
I love how the music was the one you pulled there had the music in the background. And as the legend goes, and it's grown over the years, they won the World Series in Game 7 in the bottom of the ninth on that game, right? Yeah. Actually, it was a regional elimination game. They didn't even win them the regional. But, yes, I believe that play, that call built – because people flooded into Baum Stadium for the game where they had to go back and play and win the regional. But then that highlight, here it is. We're still playing that almost, what year was that, 04? 2004? So, over 15 years later, we're still playing this highlight. It just became a legend because the radio call from Chuck was so good and people wanted to revel in that moment because it was everything you wanted. It was what you dreamed of when you're in the backyard as a kid with a wiffle ball bat. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded, and you're calling your shot.
Delivered it.
And it happened. So, but yeah, I think that's the moment where Razorback baseball became more than just Benton and Washington County.
Being Clarksville text an advantage, I'd say Baum Walker has the advantage hands down. And when I put this out on Twitter yesterday, I didn't get a single Donald W at number 1. Didn't get a single one. But I'll tell you what, in 2010 when Ronnie Wingo caught that touchdown pass, and Greg McElroy after the game said it was the loudest place he's ever played, it was quite tremendous that day.
Now out of the spread, here's Mallet back for the second time. He's got a man wide open. It's Ronnie Wingo, number 20. Scoots in for the touchdown, Arkansas.
Now, a couple weeks ago, War Machine made War Machine 2013 on YouTube, the guy that puts together all the Arkansas highlights. That is my favorite Twitter and Arkansas social media follow because of the great work he does for this football, basketball, and baseball program. He put together some of the loudest moments of Razorback Stadium. That one has to be up there. There's a bunch of others that you can look to as well. But for me and for a lot of younger listeners, that's the moment where, and I would say it's not just a younger listener thing. You can ask a lot of people, and that was I want to say that was the highest attended Arkansas game, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go back and look at the
it may
statistics.
still be because it was 76, and this is before they expanded the stadium again. There's 76,000, and this was before we scanned tickets and all that. The attendance for that game was 76,000 something. Obviously, Arkansas did not win that football game in 2010. You played the Brady Toops highlight a moment ago. The difference is Arkansas won that regional, won the super regional, beat Florida State, and then went on to the College World Series. They didn't win a national title, but it was a historic season because you went to the College World Series. We're not comparing highlights or big moments here. We're talking about venues. Arkansas, we don't know how good Donald W. Reynolds can be because now that they've closed in the north end, now that they've changed the acoustics and the setup, can it be that imposing? Well, not until Arkansas wins again. You said not one Donald W. Well, we don't even know what that stadium sounds like full. There's nothing on record for it the way it is now. I mean, you can go back to that one. That's as good as it gets. I agree with you. But how good can it be? We don't know yet.
Because Arkansas hasn't reached the potential or what you think they could be with football, especially since you mentioned they enclosed the stadium. So we mentioned both Baum-Walker Stadium, which B in Clarksville said he thinks is the most imposing. Donald W., which most people and most listeners, I would assume, would not have that as number one. But another one is obviously Bud Walton Arena. And when Cal got tossed this year, I've had some older fans come up to me and tell me that's the loudest they've ever heard it, even looking back to 99 against Auburn, even some of those 90s games against Kentucky. When Cal got tossed this year, that was the loudest that some listeners have said they've ever heard Bud Walton Arena.
They're going to call an illegal screen as quickly popped out, and the turnover is going to give it to Arkansas with 8:19 to go.
Coach, Kentucky's really frustrated. E.J. Montgomery, who has not scored and got no rebounds in this game. Illegal screen. Hogs are looking good right now.
They just teed up Calipari. I wondered how long it was going to take him. He was on the other side of the midcourt stripe. Eric Musselman's out there too. Clay Moser's going to pull Muss back. Cal's been teed up. The crowd's into it. They just threw him out of the game. He's gotten his second technical and he's been thrown out of the ball game. Listen to the crowd at Bud Walton Arena. John Calipari is being escorted to the locker room. 2 technicals on the Kentucky head coach, and that's just changed this ball game on a dime.
You heard Chuck a little bit there, just kind of let the audience do his job for him and just let the crowd echo throughout his mic. And that moment, and unfortunately, like the Alabama game, you lost it to a bitter rival, but that was unbelievable. And you had multiple college basketball outlets pick up the videos and the sound that was taken from that game. Emmanuel Quickly, I guarantee you the next hype videos and different intro videos that you see in Bud Walton Arena, Emmanuel Quickly putting his fingers in his ears will be on that. And Cal getting tossed, just the reaction of fans will be all over the place this upcoming season.
Listen, Baum Stadium is great, but because of the setup of how a ballpark just is, A, it's open air, B, you just think about the size of the venue and how the fans are spread out a bit more. They're not as up high. Baum's imposing, and probably, if you want to put it in relative terms, it's probably the right answer for this. But as far as a place that's worth points, or, we talk about in baseball runs, how many runs is Baum worth? That's tough to answer. But I can tell you this, Bud Walton Arena is worth 8 or 10 points, night in, night out. And there's just no question about what the value of that venue is. And when it's good and it's got 19,000 plus in there, there's no better atmosphere in the country. None. And for me and my money, the answer is Bud Walton Arena. Because Bud Walton is the most imposing and gives the biggest lift to the home team of any venue I see at Arkansas.
So Greg McElroy has come out and said the toughest place he's ever played football is against Arkansas and Fayetteville. You've had Jordan Bowden for Tennessee. You've had Emmanuel Quickly. You've had Ashton Hagen say that was the loudest place they've ever played in Bud Walton Arena. You've also had a number of different SEC ball players who have played in Baum-Walker Stadium say that's the toughest venue they've ever played in. But if you talk to the most coaches, if you talk to players, and it's not like we don't want to diminish Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, but you haven't been as consistent there, and the venue's just not as intense. Like, no one's as intimidated as they are walking into Baum-Walker, walking into Bud Walton, because even when Arkansas's down in Bud Walton Arena, they've won a lot of big-time games there. Now, Baum-Walker, Arkansas baseball has been so good over the course of time that it's intimidating as it gets. Now, it's even more intimidating now because the team has taken even another level as crazy that is under Dave Van Horn. And that's the intimidation factor there. Not only are fans raucous out in the Hog Pen, not only are you having to go against one of the best coaches in the country in Dave Van Horn and some of the best players in the country, but that's also one of the best venues in college baseball.
Oh, it may be the best. It may be the best because of the Hog Pen and the socializing that goes on out there. And I think it's lifted. I mean, I think you look at that Ole Miss Super Regional, not last year, about a year ago right now, right? Or in a couple of weeks, 53, 54 weeks ago. I think that the atmosphere there lifted it. And we were complaining at the time about the fact that you didn't get a night game and how good it would have been. I think to some degree, Baum Walker has turned into a social venue. It's about being seen in your box. It's about going to your skybox. It's about sitting in the Hog Pen. It's about dragging your own beer in there. It's not always about watching the baseball game. At Bud Walton, it's always about the basketball team and the game. The difference is, to me, Arkansas often needs that crowd in basketball to lift them that 6, 8, 10 points to win.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas is intimidating enough with no crowd, just how good the program is in baseball. Basketball's not there yet.
You bring up a good point with the baseball venue and the football venue. Donald W. and Baum Walker, there are certain fans that go there to be seen.
It's a parade.
To be in a spectacle, because it's not just like football is an event. There's tailgating, there's hanging out, doing all that beforehand, going to the game. Especially as of late, it's kind of been an afterthought because the team sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball-wise, yes, you have a great time. You get to drink beer out in the outfield. You get to see buddies. Like, I loved, and again, I'm not a big baseball guy, but I love going to baseball games in college because I'd see 50 to 100, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that because everyone would be out in the outfield.
It's one big tailgate out there. I mean, it's the tailgating you haven't had in football the last few years. That's what the Hog Pen is, the tailgating you want to have.
And there's certain socialites and at the baseball game and the football games that really go out there just to mingle and stuff, which is fine. Like, obviously, I'd rather, if you're going to go to a game, be a big-time hard-nosed fan and scream and yell and do all that jazz. Basketball is not as much of a socialite event or social club or like that. As you mentioned, when you go to Bud Walton Arena, for the most part, now there's club seating and stuff, and some people just go up there to drink or whatever, which is fine. But for the most
part, other than the courtside seats, you're there to watch the game.
The majority of the fans are there to watch the game and see the Hogs win that day. And that's, I think, the difference when it comes to those two. Not only that, but just the enclosed aspect, like the fact that it sounds really just not getting out. And that's how basketball arenas are so effective as far as that goes, because you mentioned earlier baseball goes everywhere. It's spread out and stuff. Football, it's enclosed now, but you haven't had the success since it's been enclosed to see what Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium can actually be when Arkansas is at its peak.
Look at the way Bud Walton's even built. I mean, the physical engineering and construction of that building. When you enter at what level? Particularly from what would be the north side and the
main
west
entrance.
side. Yeah, I mean, what level of the arena
the
do you enter?
Floor.
No, you enter on the concourse level, right? So you come in on the concourse, and then you walk down 75 feet. I don't know what's the drop in elevation from the concourse to the playing floor.
Yeah, don't ask me.
15, 20 rows at least.
Oh, no, it's more than that.
But you're right. Yeah.
I mean, you go, the elevation drop from the concourse level to the playing floor has got to be 75 to 100 feet, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
And the point is, it's dug out in the ground. It's a bunker. Sound's not escaping in Bud Walton Arena because when you enter, and I know you walk uphill a bit, but then you go straight downhill once you get to floor level. Well, that sound's all showering down into that pit, into that hole. Well, it ain't leaving. No place to go.
Zach from Greenwood texting says, I was at the Kentucky game. I took my dad as a birthday gift. He hasn't been to a basketball game since the 94 season, and he said that's what it was like in the 90s. I still get chills every time that I hear that clip of Cal getting thrown out. To me, that's one of my favorite memories of being in an Arkansas Razorback game is seeing Cal get tossed. Maybe that's not the most media member-esque thing to say, but I don't like John Calipari. Now,
it was dramatic. It was an awesome moment.
It was incredible.
It had all of the conflict and drama and everything we look for in a great show. I mean, it was a show. It was a spectacle.
There's different elements that each venue has in his advantage, and we'll talk about War Memorial and Barnhill coming up in just a sec, but there's an element of each venue that you can say they have this over the other two. They have this over the other 3 or 4. But Bud Walton has the majority qualities that I think put it over the top of every other. And that's not, listen, we're not, this is not, I'm trying to think. So it's not when Ole Miss used to have the Tad Pad as a basketball arena. It was just a horrendous basketball place, or the Hump Dump in Mississippi State. Like, there are certain SEC schools that their basketball, football, baseball, not really football, but their basketball, except for Vanderbilt, their basketball or baseball venues don't measure up to their football venue, or at least not close. For Arkansas, you have a great venue for every single main sport, basketball, football, and baseball, which you should appreciate.
Might be the best collection of the major 3 venues in the league.
Let me think about that.
I mean, LSU's got a really nice baseball park. I think it's the best
Alex
collection
Box.
now that you've expanded the North End Zone. As far as if you had to look at the quality of all 3 and then combine some kind of score, Arkansas's got to be. If they're not one, who else would be? I mean, the Colburn Coliseum at Alabama is not great. They don't even care about baseball.
I don't know what Tennessee's baseball looks like, but that would Neyland Stadium, their basketball arena, which I'm forgetting. That would be the only. I don't know what their baseball
Thompson
stadium
Bowling is the name of it.
Basketball arena, but I don't know what their baseball venue looks like. That'd be an interesting question. We might get into that conversation later during the week. But Drew and Fayetteville text in, Bud Walton is easily number 1. Again, I think most of the responses I picked up on social media yesterday, most of the responses that we've gotten to this point would say that Bud Walton is number 1.
Well,
but the other 2.
No, go ahead. No. I was just going to say Baum Stadium would be it for me, because how many times are baseball players, like SEC schools or anywhere, they're playing at less than 10,000 fans. And then you come to Fayetteville, and then there's
relative to the rest, relative to the rest of the sport. But in the SEC, there's a lot of venues now. South Carolina built one. LSU's got one. New one, Duty Noble at Mississippi State. I mean, there's more than a few imposing atmospheres now in the Southeastern Conference. So, they're not all playing in cracker boxes in baseball around the SEC anymore. But nationally, you're right. I just think, what is the atmosphere worth to your team? That's how I look at it. The question and where we started the segment is, what's the best home atmosphere? Well, which atmosphere lifts your team and wills them across the finish line to be the victor more? To me, it's Bud Walton. That arena is just worth more than even like you look at Rupp Arena. Those fans sit back, and we always talk about they cross their arms and say, "Entertain me." They're not real loud in there, and that's not an atmosphere that is always imposing till they get riled up, and it's not all because they're so arrogant. They sit on their backsides waiting to be entertained. At Bud Walton, man, when that thing is good and it's rocking, and that's how you need to look at this, is when it's at its best. When there's 10,000 plus at Baum, when there's 19,000 at Bud Walton. We don't know, unfortunately, what Donald W. Reynolds Stadium can be full, because we haven't seen it in this configuration. Close to full.
It's not going to measure up. I can tell you that now.
I'm interested in how it holds its sound, and if Arkansas can consistently do it. I'm just telling you, there are a lot of coaches that are very concerned, and they spend a lot of their game prep talking to their players and making note about the atmosphere when you have to come play basketball at Arkansas. It's not an easy place to come win.
And that's the players that have said that, the coaches have said that it is across the board when it comes to that. Brad texted in, says Baum Walker right now, but the ceiling is definitely higher for Bud Walton Arena. Again, the success that the baseball stadium has been able to maintain consistently, that has helped. Like, there's been times where Bud Walton has not been as intimidating because the teams haven't been any good. So why would you go to, and I know you want to be a Razorback fan through and through, but one of the things, what increases attendance, Tommy? What's the singular thing that increases attendance?
Dollar beer?
Winning.
Hot dogs. Oh, the best promotion ever. Yeah, better than free T-shirts at a radio remote. It's winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Winning is
It's not dollar hot dogs. No. Winning is the best promotion they've ever invented.
Beer in the outfield definitely increases
It's a close second.
At Bud Walker Stadium, but it's winning over everything.
Yes.
That's what stands up. That's regardless of the venue. Even if it's a venue that doesn't have the best bathrooms or the best concession stands or whatever. People forgo that because of what? Winning and tradition. And you're hoping that Arkansas football can get back to a point where Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium is full. You hope that Bud Walton can get back to a point in the 90s. And you hope that, let's just knock on wood here, that the baseball team maintains their dominance in Baum Walker Stadium.
And they will, as long as Dave Van Horn is their coach. I fully believe that. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Great place to spend your Memorial Day weekend. And if you can't make it this weekend, maybe start thinking ahead to July 4th or some summer weekend. Now that the restrictions and everybody's getting a little more comfortable traveling and getting out and about, why not make Gaston's your first stop for summer? A lot of people have canceled their plans. I know I had a trip with a family planned 10 days from now. It's off the board. No one wants to get in an airport. No one wants to go 4, 5, 6, 7 states away right now. We get it. Why not have fun right here in the natural state at Gaston's? Fishing is the star of the show. That's the venue there. It's the White River. They're also back open in the restaurant. So you can call for reservations, 870-431-5202, and make a reservation for the restaurant, or do that when you are making your reservations to stay there at Gaston's. You'll have a great time. Their guides on point every time to make sure the fishing's great, the restaurant, the food is wonderful as well. Make a reservation today at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call today. And good morning to this great fan base.
Okay, you know how it feels when you've saved enough for that long-awaited home edition? Now imagine an addition on that addition. Whoa. That's the feeling with Capital One, where a new savings account earns an interest rate 5 times the national average. That's right, 5 times, as represented by 5 times more singers. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Rate comparison based on FDIC national rate. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where the recovery is on. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about getting back to doing what we do the way we do it. And that means making it fun and easy to get into a nicer, newer car at Rath Auto Resources. We're doing our part by offering up to $2,800 below retail and no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Plus, we extended the $1,200 Rath Auto Relief on select inventory. That's $1,200 to use as you choose on a special selection of Rath Road Ready inventory while they last. Or let us take care of the car you have in the Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. The recovery is on with up to $2,800 off retail, no payments for 90 days, and $1,200 Rath Auto Relief on select inventory at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, Towson and Phoenix, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Need to see a doctor but you're concerned about going? River Valley Primary Care is now seeing patients at all 10 clinics by video and phone visits. See a doctor today who can diagnose your condition and prescribe medication if needed. These visits are now covered by most insurance plans. River Valley Primary Care in Ratcliffe, Mountainburg, Mulberry, Clarksville, Lavaca, Lamar, Waldron, and 3 locations in Fort Smith. Call 479-431-2050 or go online to rvpcs.org. See a doctor today by video or phone with River Valley Primary Care.
Hey, Grounds Guys.
Hey, what?
What's the first thing people see when they pull up to your house? That's right, the yard. Your curb appeal is everything to make a great lasting impression, and the Grounds Guys are here to help. The Grounds Guys provide spring cleanup, weed control, mowing and trimming, and anything to make your yard look its best to get that head-turning curb appeal. The Grounds Guys are a professional crew with a passion to make your yard beautiful. Call today and get $100 off any annual maintenance plan. 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance is now included with your auto policy. So if your car leaves you stranded, Just call and we'll take care of you while you take care of what's most important. Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield, we're your shelter. Some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers is still open, taking care of the community and keeping you safe. Art's Barbecue and Burgers at 8203 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith is taking care of their customers in the drive-thru, curbside pickup, or use the Waiter app and have it brought to you. Call 452-2550 and Art's will have your order ready. That's 452-2550. Eat local at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Blue! Do you trust that I do not want to see you die here tonight? Sir, yes, sir. Blue, you're my boy! Thank you, sir.
Subscribe to the Morning Rush podcast wherever podcasts are found.
Want to keep the conversation going with what you think the best home venue is for Arkansas sports. Before we do that, I want to tell you about the Fence Man.
Yeah, if you want powered automatic gates at your home or business, who doesn't? Well, that's the Fence Man. Whether it's a commercial application for a shipping yard or for your work yard there, and you need a powered gate for your trucks to get in and out of, they do those, whether it's chain link, or maybe you want something more decorative and custom for your home. They can do those as well, like a custom wrought iron fence with powered gates. If you've always wondered, who's the company that does all these pretty gates that I want to have? Well, that's the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. They can even do customized initials or logos or those kind of things if that's what you're looking for as well as part of your design. Also, 18-month same as cash financing is available as well. Maybe you have powered gates and you need them serviced. Need someone to work on the automatic openers and closers. They can do that for you as well. 479-782-3936. And again, 18-month, same as cash financing available right now. That's the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
So you're saying Budwall and Narita, Tommy, correct?
Yes.
Just want to make sure. Jenkins, you've said Baum Walker, correct?
Yeah, I'll go Baum.
Okay. I'm gonna also agree with you, Tommy. I'm gonna say Budwall. Now, I can't go to the extreme that you think it's the best home venue in college basketball.
Oh, I'm saying when it's at its best, when it's Kentucky good. Who name me anything better than that? When it's at its best, it's not consistent. So don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying it's as loud and as imposing. And I hadn't been to Duke, I hadn't been to North Carolina, I hadn't been to, but I've seen them on TV, and I see what Arkansas is like on TV and how the opponent wilts. And that's what you're looking for. When you say best atmosphere, I want to see the crowd cause the will of the opponent to bend, where the crowd actually plays a factor. And I think at Bud Walton, the crowd plays a factor. A big factor.
It is a big factor. So I went to Allen Fieldhouse for the first time this past season. They beat Colorado. They pretty much had the game in hand the entire game. I'd like to see them be in a closer bout. I'm planning on going back to another game. I'd like to see what they do against a closer matchup against maybe like a top 10 team or something to see the magnitude of that. Cameron Indoor, all-star my destination. I got a buddy or two that's been out there. They said the atmosphere is unbelievable, but you got to think about it's a smaller venue. They can only pack in less than 10,000 people. I'm forgetting the exact number of fans that slam in there, but it's not 19-2 on a good day.
And they put the students right on the sideline at Cameron, the Cameron Crazies.
We need to talk about that because, that's one of the things that Arkansas, that Budwell Arena, does not do well. The student section is not as impactful as it should be because it's obviously you got the fans up front, which I get, but it's pushed back and stuff, and it's not. I don't know if they should section off the whole side because you lose a lot of money. But
you can't afford to.
It's not what it could be.
I don't think the students would be willing to pay what You would you can't, because what's a student ticket now? You can get a
$80, $100 if you get the Arkansas Foundation. I think if that's still that's what it was when I was in college.
I mean, it just doesn't financially. I understand. Would it make a better presentation on TV? And here's the thing: if the program doesn't consistently win, you won't. I mean, they've struggled to fill up the student section in recent years. It only works as long as you're winning. If you put the students over there to create even more atmosphere, I get what you're saying, but there are fans that will buy those seats and they'll buy them win or lose because they know the value of being. They know that's prime real estate. Those seats are at the corner of Main and Main. You know, you're not going to get better seats than what you're suggesting maybe the students would get. How you gonna move? Where are you gonna move those donors to? Because they're not paying for anything else because they're used to the luxury now.
And I've talked to a few of my buddies, some that have good lower bowl seats, a few that have boxes, and it's like buying stock, you know, like they're investing the money now because they're anticipating that Muss is going to get this thing going. And the tickets, it's not like tickets are going to get any cheaper, Tommy.
No.
So they're hoping.
They may in football, but they're not going to in basketball.
They're betting on Eric Musselman and this basketball team. Two spots we haven't mentioned yet. I didn't go to a game in George Cole Field. Did you ever go to a game at George Cole?
I remember as a kid, I went to a game there after they converted it to the softball facility. But no, I did not go to an Arkansas baseball game. No one even thought about going to an Arkansas baseball game when I was a kid. They were really good in the late 70s, obviously, and Norm had a solid program, but it was an afterthought. And you didn't have lights for many years there at George Cole, which is now where the parking deck is where that's
for the
at.
Hyper. Yeah. So it's different. The other two that people really probably want to talk about, we've gotten a few texts about this, is Barnhill Arena and War Memorial Stadium. Now, War Memorial, this is not a great stadium debate, but you cannot deny that several coaches and several players have also come out and said the toughest place they played is at War Memorial Stadium. Jackie Sherrill came on this program and said he hated playing there. It's the toughest place that he played. You've had Mike Leach say that the toughest venue he's ever played in is War Memorial Stadium when he was with Kentucky. Miracle on Markham 1, Miracle on Markham 2, beating LSU in 2010. You've had some great wins and some raucous crowds in War Memorial Stadium. You flip it over, go back to Barnhill Arena. You couldn't get a ticket in Barnhill Arena. That's one of the biggest reasons Bud Walton was built, is because Frank was like, they can sell way more tickets than this and even have a better atmosphere. And you can debate if the spirit of Barnhill Arena was passed over, and like some people will say back and forth depending on your age, hey, Barnhill's better than Bud Walton. No, Walton's better than Barnhill Arena. I never had the fortune of going to one of those games and seeing it at its prime. But I will tell you there was a certain mystique about going back for the red-white game this past basketball season and seeing what a basketball game would look like on that court.
Yeah, and you didn't really get to, even the red-white game didn't.
I mean, it doesn't live up to that.
It paled and compared to, it's just different, but you didn't fill it up with, 9,000 something you could get in there before. So, different. But, yeah, I mean, it was steep. It was straight up. The noise, kind of like we've talked about in Bud Walton, just the pitch of it all made that venue very, very loud. Sight lines weren't as good because of the way the building was added onto and then added onto again. And, just the way it was done didn't always make the sight lines from every seat as good as some other places. But we're talking about best atmospheres. And when that building got going, it was the gold standard in the state. It was a hard place to go win.
I've talked to Karen, who's one of our sales members here at ESPN Arkansas, works in Hot Springs at 96.3, and she said that atmosphere was unbelievable. It's whoever you talk to, they'll tell you the exact same thing. If you remember, the big win over Phi Slam and Jamma came against them. And I say Phi Slam and Jamma. I don't know if Clyde was on that team or not. I know Akeem Olajuwon was because Joe Klein fouled him out. But you've had some massive, big-time wins in Barnhill Arena. And what an atmosphere that has been over the years. You talk about an intimidating factor with Bud. Barnhill was just the same, if not better, depending on who you talk to.
You bring her up because she was a student in the band at that time when Jim Ropkin led a lot of the theatrics, if you will, that went on around that arena that made that part of the atmosphere that it became legendary for, was the sound bar and all of these things that to me go into what definition of atmosphere is. And, I remember those things as a kid. And that was as good as it got. When that building was at its best, it was as good, I think, as Bud Walton is today.
Yeah.
Just not as big. There's just more sound in Bud Walton because it's bigger.
I guarantee you, Eddie Sutton would tell you that was a great motivator, a great use of force for his team at the time when he was playing at home. For the years that Nolan played in Barnhill Arena, he would tell you the exact same thing. Players would, you talk about an advantage of 8 to 10 points, which you think about a basketball game. I think you get 8 points out in Vegas. You get a couple more points for playing at Bud Walton Arena or Barnhill Arena.
And here's the thing I love about Bud Walton Arena. You look at it today, it's closing in on 30 years old. They built that thing and opened it in 1993, 27 years ago. You walk that concourse, you walk through that arena, I'm not saying it looks as good as the day it opened, but I'm telling you, that thing is aged well and is still a great arena for 27 or so years under its belt.
A lot of memories in that arena.
But it still holds up. It's still very functional and in great shape.
Coming up on the Morning Rush, we're going to have former Razorback Jarius Wright join us. Really excited to talk to Jerry. He's got a lot of good stuff that I think Tommy Advai cooked up for him. Very interested in see what conversation we have. Stay with us on the Morning Rush.
Hi, I'm Bill Bolton of NWA Gold, Silver, and Coins. Newsflash, gold is at a 7.5-year high and currently at $1,683 per ounce. There has never been a better time than now to sell your unworn and broken jewelry. Turn that jewelry into amazing amounts of cash. We purchase diamond rings, diamond engagement rings, and sterling silver flatware and hollowware. We're also buying David Yurman, Stephen Lagos, John Hardy, Constantino, Tiffany & Company, and more. The time is now to empty out that safety deposit box or jewelry chest. What's in your safety deposit box could be worth thousands. Not sure your items are real or just want to find out what your valuables are worth? Stop by and let one of our expert staff give you a free evaluation while you wait. Have gold or silver coins or bullion? We buy that as well. Don't sell them through an estate sale or auction and get less money. Can't make it to us? We make house calls. NWA Gold, Silver, and Coins, Bentonville, Fayetteville.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
If you have experience transporting frozen and refrigerated goods and want to be part of a trucking family with insurance and be home every week, you need to contact Brent Higgins Trucking. Since 1997, Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry has been proudly delivering to and from various areas of the United States, including but not limited to Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Contact them at 479-997-2366 or at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Spring is here and there's no better time to get out of the house and back on the road. Time for the windows rolled down and the radios turned up. Southern Tire Mart proudly offers America's most trusted brands such as Toyo. Trust us for your last minute getaways, open road adventures, and memories that outlast the drive. When you can rely on your tires, you are free to enjoy the ride. Your Toyo tires are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. Southern Tire Mart and Toyo, we keep you rolling.
0% for 84 months on nearly every 2020 Buick and GMC in stock at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Get 0 for 84 on 2020 GMC Sierra 1500s, Yukons, Terrains, and Acadias, plus 0 for 84 on Buick Enclaves, Buick Encores, and Envisions. If you're even thinking about a new vehicle, stop by Harry Robinson and let us show you how you can save thousands. 0% for 84 months at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey sports fans, this is Scott from Calico County and wanted to let you know that we have reopened our dining room. Of course, we're doing all the things that the health department requires us to do with limited seating, distancing, and the other measures to keep you protected. During this time, we're continuing our curbside pickup. We also are still offering delivery through the Waiter app and DoorDash app, and also wanted to let you know that our catering is still available. So for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue behind Randall Ford.
Knockouts Haircuts for Men is coming to Fort Smith. It's such a big deal, we brought in a real ring announcer to set the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, armed with scissors, a pair of clippers, and if you're lucky, a smile, it's that same old hair place that takes your money and sends you on your way. But in this corner, Knockouts Haircuts for Men, where you get the best haircut of your life from one of the Knockout Girls, a cold beer if you want it, and sports on every TV in the building.
Knockouts Haircuts for Men, opening soon in Fort Smith.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there's a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
New Bud Light Seltzer, huh?
Yep.
And it tastes like a hard seltzer, not a beer?
Yep.
So it's light and refreshing?
Yep.
With a hint of fruit flavor?
Yep.
And 100 calories?
Yep.
You said this is Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
Well, I need to try it.
Yep.
Oh, that tastes great.
Yep.
Now, wait, are you just yupping me?
Nope.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly cloudy sky tonight. An overnight low will drop down in the low to mid 50s. Partial sunshine Wednesday. Our high temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Thursday, we will be in and out of the clouds. A few stray showers possible. High temperatures close to 80 degrees. And then it looks like we'll see a better chance of showers and storms Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hey, this is Matt Jenkins. Be sure to listen to Halftime weekdays from 12 to 2 on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light. Please drink responsibly.
Jarius Wright, and he's gone. Wright, touchdown.
Touchdown, Arkansas. Jarius Wright.
Touchdown, Jarius Wright. Right on the money.
Wright with the right move. Touchdown, Hogs. Jarius Wright with his 11th touchdown catch of the year.
Mallet. Deep middle. Wide open. Jarius Wright trying to get his balance. If he can, he might take it. Breaks the tackle. Down the sideline. Got a block. And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Welcome back into the Morning Rush. Let's welcome our next guest, former Razorback and current NFL free agent, Jarius Wright. Warren has less than 6,000 people. Why does it seem to be so much football talent in a little small town called Warren, Arkansas?
Some of the good players, some of the good high school kids that were kids, they grow up and have kids, and those are the players that's good now. And I think, back then, a lot of teams, a lot of colleges weren't looking at Warren.
Good lineage.
That's what I'm saying. Is I think we've always had the talent. I just think that a lot of teams weren't looking down there in South Arkansas.
What is it about Bo Hember? He's had a great program. Warren's been pretty successful in high school football and pretty consistent in high school football for a couple decades now.
A lot is due to him, the work he does with the kids and not only in football. You see, he's the head coach of the basketball team this past year. So just what he does down there from an athletic standpoint is unbelievable. And I don't know that there's many guys that can do that or has done that, because he's also the athletic director down there. So he just does so much for the town and so much for the school, and especially football and the kids.
When you look at the history, there was quite a few wide receivers, or a handful that went other places in the SEC, went to other colleges. What was it that interested you in Arkansas and being a Razorback in your high school career?
You know, I grew up in Arkansas, and this is home. I'd say this is my state. I don't want to, claim it.
No, it's
like
okay,
that,
man. That's okay. You did enough for the Razorback program. You can say that.
I thought about that then, and I told, it's kind of funny. I actually had a conversation with Joe Adams. We still talk about it to this day. I told him, I said, hey, if you go to Arkansas, I'll go. And we talked also with D'Anthony Curtis and Jim Youngblood, and we said, why would we go anywhere else? How about we stay here in state and make our school good? And it's funny, that morning of signing day, Joe signed his letter of intent before me, and he signed it to Arkansas. So in order to keep my word, I signed my letter too, and the rest is history.
Jarius, if I remember correctly, Joe was originally committed to USC. I think
yes,
when Houston got let go and realized that Bobby came in, he realized he was going to get some balls thrown to him. It might have changed his mind a little bit, I would guess.
Yes, sir. He definitely was committed to USC.
Since you bring up Joe, I got to talk about this, man. You go highlight after highlight of you guys' touchdowns, whether it's you, whether it's Joe, whether it's Greg. One of the other guys is downfield blocking, and that's one of the things that's not talked about enough. Why was that so important to you and the other wide receivers?
It was just fun. We just had fun going out, being able to play football. Don't get me wrong. We practiced very hard, and we worked on our conditioning to be able to do that. But Niall scored or Ronnie scored or Chris scored. It didn't matter who scored. It was fun seeing your team score. It was fun winning. It was fun seeing all the fans and the crowd go crazy. Almost more fun watching somebody and celebrating with somebody else than you scoring. But we just took pride in that. Like you say, you can just watch the highlights and see how many downfield blocks there were and how many guys running to get a block.
Whether it was in 2009 when Greg took that long one against Florida and you're blocking a guy near in the end zone. Chris Gragg when he blocked downfield against Auburn in 2011 that allowed Joe Adams to get to the end zone. I mean, there's so many instances, man. Kind of back to Joe. I know when you guys were in the Combine in 2012, dude, you ran the fastest 40 of any SEC player, including your teammate Joe Adams. Did you give him a little hard time about that? Because I'm sure there was a little bit of competition anytime you guys faced off at anything.
We kind of knew our strengths. We knew I was a fast guy. Joe was kind of more of the shiftier guy. It wasn't really too much crap to give. Plus, Joe, if I'm not mistaken, Joe had hurt his hamstring and only ran, I think, maybe once. I didn't have much to prove as far as speed. But I didn't know that I ran the fastest time of anybody in the SEC. That's a good stat to know.
Isn't that crazy, man? That's something you can put on your mantle.
Jarius, you played from 2008 to 11. Those 4 seasons are the exact 4 seasons Petrino was head coach. Have you ever stopped to consider everything that got built and accomplished, particularly those last 2 years, to go from a 5-7 program to a program 10-3 and then 11-2 your last 2 years? You think about that transition and really kind of the mountain Arkansas's facing uphill right now in this program. What went into that to build the program back to the championship level you enjoyed your last 2 years?
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. That's for sure. I can honestly say there were times where I didn't know if I wanted to play football anymore. It came to that as far as conditioning, working out each and every day, going to school. As a young kid, it can kind of be overwhelming. Not to talk about school, but to get back on the football part, we worked hard. It was hard. It wasn't easy at all, but we worked hard. We pushed each other to work hard, and we wanted to win. Like you say, we went 5-7 that freshman year, and we all knew that we could have had a better year that year. We knew it was that building process. We understood that, so we knew, and we also knew what losing felt like. And we knew this next year we don't want to lose. We don't like the feeling of losing. It was contagious, and the whole team wanted to win. So when we conditioned hard. We ran hard. When we worked out hard. Credit to Bobby, one of the best offensive coaches I've ever been around. He put the talent we had with his brain, and we just lit it up.
2008, we mentioned 5-7, 8-5 in 09. Never ranked in the 09 season. 2010, 13 games, went 10-3. You know how many weeks
that team was ranked inside the top 25 that year out of the 13 games? You remember?
5, I think.
All of them. Every week.
Oh.
Inside the top 20. In 2011, you went 11-2, 6-2, and the SEC finished third. You know how many weeks you were ranked inside the top 25 that season?
How many?
All of them. The point is, the program in 2010 and 11, out of 26 ball games, you were ranked inside the top 21, actually, all of them. And 10 of those weeks were inside the or 10th or better. That's a pretty special time that you were a centerpiece for, man.
My senior year, we felt like we should have played in the national championship that year. I feel like we were supposed to beat LSU when we jumped out 14 at LSU. And remember, that was the same year LSU and Alabama played. And,
the Hogs were number 3 that week, and LSU was number 1. And that was the week your team had lost your teammate and Garrett Ekman, if I remember all the details right.
Yeah, that was a rough week for us. If we would have beat LSU that day, we would have took that place, and we wouldn't have had to play in the SEC championship because Alabama would have been playing. And that would have been us. I mean, I know it's history now, but we definitely had an opportunity.
I just bring that up, that how special those 2 years were, because it's a few years ago, but it's a decade ago. It's not a generation ago that Arkansas football was that great. You spent 2 consecutive years in the top 25. And what do you think it's going to take? I mean, I know blood, sweat, tears, all this, but what's it really going to take for Arkansas to get back to just a resemblance of that?
Number one, the right coach. And I think we have that set in place. And I think he got the right coaches around him set in place. You know, a lot of it is you got to have the right coaching and the right teaching and the right guys teaching them the right things. That's in place so far. And I think you have to have the right guys on your team, the right type of leadership. And I think some of the young guys might have to, step up and be the leaders. They don't put an age on leadership. Doesn't matter. I feel like when I stepped in, I always wanted to be a leader. I didn't say a lot, but I tried to show it by example. And I think some of the younger guys, Trey Knox and Traylon Burks, guys like that, and then you got Franks coming in at quarterback who's played, who has had some SEC experience, with those receivers. I think it could be good for us. I know for sure that defensively we have to get it together. I know Coach Pittman is offensive line guru, so I think we're going to be fine as far as offense and up front. But I think you have to get the right type of guys and the right type of leaders and guys who put it on the line for each other. So that's one of the things. You have to be able to trust each other. You have to be able to look at each other and know that the guy beside you is going to do his job. And I think that's just comes with the right type of guys.
Speaking with Jarius Wright here on the Morning Rush, glad you brought up Traylon Burks, Warren guy as well. A lot of comparisons in high school were made to you with his play. What's your relationship like with Traylon Burks?
Me and Traylon have a great relationship. I basically watched Traylon grow up as a little kid. Me and his uncle were pretty good friends and hung out a lot each and every day. I got the chance to watch him grow up, so it's almost like he's pretty much family to me.
So one of the things that Bo Hembry said, Bobby Petrino said about your own football IQ, Jerry, is it's off the charts. They said that. We've had Tyler in here in studio on the phone multiple times, and he said you ran the most precise routes of almost any wide receiver he's ever played with. How much time today and back then did you spend watching film and really molding your craft?
Man, I spent countless hours watching film. That was kind of one of my favorite things to do. I mean, it still is today. Just watching film of not only just myself, but watching other receivers and how they do things and different things that I can add to my game. And don't get me wrong, I'm still learning today. Of sometimes the coaches they didn't require us to watch film. They would know if you were in there watching film or not. Free time in between classes or something like that, I didn't mind going down, watching film, seeing our next opponents, because I always wanted to be the most prepared, not only for practice and knowing coverages and what they're going to try to do. I didn't want to only know what the DBs or what the safeties were doing. I wanted to see what the linebackers were doing. I wanted to kind of recognize blitzes, recognize plays, and I think it kind of helped me out against the Texas A&M game. A lot of times we knew what they were about to do before they even done it.
How did you feel about Petrino's management style as a coach? We've talked to a lot of players from your era, and looking back on it, a lot of them appreciated the difficult nature and the uncomfortable environment he created. They've said it set them up and prepared them for tough situations down the road. How did you how did you deal with the constant barrage that he seemed to bring as a head coach?
Then I didn't like it. I can honestly say that, then I didn't like it. But now that I'm older and as I've gotten older, I realize, he prepared you for everyday life. It was more than football. You know, I didn't realize the big picture at the time. Like they say, he prepared you for rough times. He prepared you for hard times. I know it might sound crazy comparing football to life and things like that, but he definitely made you a tougher person. Definitely has translated over in life.
Is there a moment from a practice, a game, a film session, anything from those 4 years that stands out to you as, there's my Petrino story?
I don't think I should share any of those.
We got the delay on. Wait, this could be good stuff right here.
I don't know. I don't think he'll be too happy.
I hear you, man. No,
a decade later, and he's still worried about it.
Jairus, we've had Tyler tell us stories off there. He doesn't want to say them on there, so I understand that for sure.
I can tell you, I never got as bad as a quarterback. I can say that.
Threw the bait out there. I was just seeing if I could reel it in, you know.
Just know it's things that we don't want kids to hear.
Yeah, I understand.
Amen, man. Jairus, let's talk about this quarterbacks, man. You play with a couple good ones. Ryan Mallett, Tyler Wilson. What was that transition like?
You know, it might sound crazy, and even though they were really different, of course, Ryan threw the ball harder, but, you know, Tyler could spin it too. You could see Ryan throw the ball as, you know, you couldn't see Tyler throw it. Tyler had a little better touch than Ryan had. But as far as being great quarterbacks, they both excelled at that position. And it was fun to get a chance to play with both of those guys. You know, my junior year, we had a healthy Greg. He kind of got a little bit more of the targets. And then our senior year, when Tyler became the quarterback, I don't know if he'll ever admit to this, but I told him, I said, hey, you ever get in trouble, just throw me the ball. And I think he lived by it.
You mentioned Ryan had a cannon. How many times did you get a finger jam in practice or game? Or did he ever break one of your fingers just running a slant route?
You know, he never broke any of my fingers, but not to call my receiver coach crazy, but we had Paul Petrino as our receiver coach for a while. He would shoot them jugs at us pretty hard. So we were used to catching the, I guess you can say,
fireballs.
Yeah. You know, one thing we always brought up with Tyler when he was with us on the show is the game against A&M that you were a big part of and one of his big days. Anything you remember about that day down in Arlington that was really kind of a show-out day for the two of you?
I remember I ran a come back and go, and Tyler underthrew me. I was supposed to have 300 yards that game and another touchdown. I told Tyler it was okay because, you know, that's kind of the first thing that comes to my head whenever I think about that day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many memories, man. You can talk about 2011 against Texas A&M, Jairus, as Tommy brought up. You just had so many, man. And the bowl game against Kansas State. But I think one of the plays that gets overshadowed a little bit is your catch against Tennessee. I know that Joe had that incredible punt return, but what's going through your, and speaking of underthrows, Tyler underthrew you here there. What's going through your mind as that ball's in the air and you have to catch it off like 6 juggles and you finally bring it down?
You know, initially I'm like, okay, I think it might have been a hit or a fade, and they press. You know, it's the SEC, so most of the time they press. So I knew when he came up and pressed me, I knew at that point that, okay, I got a chance to get the ball. I knew that Tyler was going to trust me. So when the ball was in the air, initially, okay, I'm like, I got him beat. So I'm like, where's the ball? And the ball hadn't been thrown yet. And I see the ball come out, and it looked short, so I just began to slow down. And next thing you know, it's like, okay, it's one of those balls you like, okay, it's either going to hit off the back of his head or, you know, it's going to sneak through, and most likely I might drop it. Kind of went laser focused. You know, I actually got my hand on it and tipped it up. And the first time I tipped it up, I'm like, okay. It is crazy because this whole moment I'm talking to myself and it's going in slow motion, even though it's really, you know, fast motion, moving really fast. So I'm just going through in my head, okay, I'm about to catch it now. I bring it in and it hits off my face mask. Initially go, and that's the first time I actually just went into panic mode is when the ball hit off my face mask. So I was like, at that point, I'm like, where it go? And I see it, like I said, still in slow motion. I just see it falling to the ground. It's like, well, let me give this last diving effort. And I dove for it, and I just came up with it.
All right, Jairus. Jairus right with us here on the Morning Rush. Jairus, before we let you go, man, I know you and Greg, you guys like to fish a little bit. What's your go-to fishing spot here in Arkansas?
Well, now I stay on a lake here in North Little Rock, so I just usually fish here now, kind of getting a little older. So I just fish in the backyard now.
What kind of fish do you catch out there, Jairus?
Brim, some bass. You know, I like to catch all types of fish.
Jarius Wright, former Arkansas Razorback, current NFL free agent. Jarius, I appreciate you carving out some time for us this morning, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Jarius.
You think Jarius will invite us fishing anytime soon?
If he's smart, the answer is no.
I think we'd catch all the brim out of his lake in his backyard. But that's pretty cool. I read a story, both him and Greg Childs, that was one of their hobbies growing up, is they just go out near Warren or in Warren and fish and stuff. And obviously, I was a bunch of avid fishermen listening to the program right now. You really like that. But there's a bunch of stuff that you can take out of that interview. The Bobby Petrino stuff, I think, stands out because you think about his style and how he would go about conducting contact and teachings with players. It rubs some people the wrong way, but a lot of players that come out to him said they're better off for it, not only in football, but as Jarius mentioned, in life as well.
Yeah, you get out of school, and your boss isn't always going to be nice and coddle you. You're if you go into the military, we know how tough that can be. There's just so many things you're going to do in life where you're going to encounter a customer that's mad, a boss that's mad and upset with you, and they're not always going to speak to you in a nice way. And coaches being hard on players prepare you for situations in life where you're going to have to deal with conflict. You're going to have to deal with someone that's not pleased with your performance, and coaches set you up for that in a lot of ways, to hold you accountable, to call out your shortcomings so you can improve on them. And I think that's what a lot of players that don't participate in sports miss out on now, is that part of the growth and development to just be a better adult down the road.
We joked about the lineage with Jarius going through Warren, Arkansas, where it seems like there's been so many great football players that have come out of that city, particularly that season with Chris Gragg, him, Greg Childs, and then they had one more guy, I think Basman Jones. I'm forgetting the exact name, but there was one more guy in that class that also initially signed with Arkansas, ended up going elsewhere. But one of the guys that's really the centerpiece, not only of the offense, but of the team this next year, is Traylon Burks. He mentioned he has a relationship with Traylon's uncle. They've been friends for quite some time, so he's really watched Traylon grow up. And there's a lot of comparisons for high school guys that cover Arkansas high school sports. Traylon played a lot like Jarius. Now, Traylon's a little taller, really quick, about 4.4 speed. He tore his ACL in high school, but that would be definitely someone that you would want to model your career after for Traylon's sake, would be Jarius Wright.
Something we brought up earlier in the show, and we were talking with Jarius about it there, is that 2010, 2011 seasons, those 2 seasons, those 26 games, being ranked every game, 21 or better for 2 consecutive seasons, every week. So for those naysayers that say it can't be done at Arkansas, well, a decade ago it was done. You were in the top 20 essentially every week for 2 straight years. You need players like Jarius Wright, though, man, to make that happen.
Or a Traylon Burks if he actually gets used, if he actually gets thrown the ball, because, again, 0 touchdowns for Traylon Burks this past season. That's inexplicable. It's inexcusable, and especially for a guy that's supposed to be an offensive guru. I don't know how you let that happen. It seemed like they wouldn't use him in certain situations where it was painstakingly obvious. Like, why are you not giving him the ball? Why are you not trying to get him more touches? The same could be said about Trey Knox at the end zone, but you hope that Kendall Briles, who's also heralded as an offensive guru, you hope that he sees Trey Knox, Mike Woods, Rakeem Boyd, Traylon Burks, and actually uses his weapons adequately so the team can have at least successful offensive side of the football this season, because it's going to be very important that Arkansas scores some points, because I don't know how good that defense is going to be at stopping people in their tracks.
Yeah, you may need to be in the mid-30s or more to just give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter to win. That's a good point.
Which you couldn't get, you couldn't get over that, which is why it's important that the offense picks it up and really and helps out the defense this upcoming season.
Hey, well, how's the air quality in your home or business? You even given that a thought? Indoor air pollution could be the source of a wide variety of health-related issues you and your family, or maybe you and your coworkers, are going through right now. B&J Comfort Solutions can come out and test the air quality with an air quality report for your home or business. Air quality problems can cause minor allergy symptoms to more serious, even life-threatening illnesses. If you're feeling ill at home or work all the time and you don't know why, call B&J Comfort Solutions for an indoor air quality test and receive a full-color comprehensive report for your home's air in under 30 minutes. Call and schedule your air quality check today, 479-646-0284. That's 646-0284 for B&J Comfort Solutions. They are veteran-owned and operated, and they're for all your residential sales, service, installations, and air quality check needs. That's B&J Comfort Solutions, 646-0284.
Coming up, we'll continue on recapping the Jarius Wright conversation. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the interview its entirety, go to hitthatline.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's coming up on The Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, guys, enjoy your show. Out of all the sports programs in the state, I really enjoy y'all's most.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Are your appliances struggling? Do you need that part and not sure where to go? Mid-South Distributing has you covered with 9 locations in the Arkansas area. Appliance parts and accessories for all major brands of appliance. Mid-South Distributing has you, the customer, in mind when you're needing that part for your appliance. Mid-South Distributing. Check out midsouthparts.com to find your location near you. Mid-South Distributing. We're in your neighborhood.
ESPN Radio proudly recognizes National Military Appreciation Month, presented by Navy Federal Credit Union.
David Robinson entered the U.S. Naval Academy in 1983 and led the basketball team to 82 wins in 3 years, including an improbable run to the Elite Eight in 1986. After graduating in 87, he was drafted number 1 overall. His NBA career was put on hold as he spent 2 years on active duty in the Civil Engineering Corps. He went on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NBA.
No one is more reliable than you, the brave men and women of the military. Whether you're on active duty or a veteran, you're always there for us. That's why Navy Federal Credit Union has been there for you since 1933. Now more than ever, we want to thank you. So we're saying it by offering special deals on credit cards, car loans, and certificates. Go to NavyFederal.org/celebrate to find out more. It's just a small token of our appreciation for our reliable military members. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your locally owned Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith will remain open during these unprecedented times. Takeout and curbside orders are available by calling 479-478-9600 or order online at joesfortsmith.com or use the Waiter app on your phone or tablet. Eat local with Joe's Grill and Cantina, 478-9600 or online at joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Hey, Grounds guys.
Hey, what?
It's time to turn over my lawn maintenance to the professionals. My husband just doesn't have time to take care of our yard anymore, and I'm constantly on the go. But I don't want to leave my yard to just anybody. The Grounds guys are a professional lawn care provider I know I can trust to keep my yard looking beautiful. They have different maintenance plans available to fit exactly what I need. For $100 off any annual maintenance plan, call the Grounds guys today at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897.
We're proud to say Mosquito Joe of Arkansas has been providing professional mosquito control service for nearly a decade now. In that time, nothing has been more satisfying than hearing from our customers about the difference Mosquito Joe has made in their yard. If you haven't tried Mosquito Joe yet, then don't take it from us. Google Mosquito Joe of Arkansas. Look at our reviews, read what our customers are saying, and then call 479-202-9960. That's 202-9960. Get your first service for $39.
Spring is here, and it's time to get outdoors. Just arrived at Jelco Outdoors. New spring footwear by Solomon, sandals by Aerosol, Keen, Sanuk, and the largest selection of work and safety footwear for men and women in the River Valley. Jelco Outdoors, serving the River Valley with quality footwear since 1983. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474, or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. World of Wireless has moved just a few miles east, next to Frank Rowe Furniture in Barling.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
I'm going to try to put this as kindly as possible. The show has turned into a circus.
I'm going to try this call-in number.
Call or text The Morning Rush at 877-377-6963.
My first official call-in.
Want to keep up the Jarius Wright conversation going on, the Morning Rush, one of the most lethal weapons in Arkansas football history. Just a great wide receiver, whether it's Tyler Wilson, Bo Hembry, Bobby Petrino. He'll talk about his football IQ over and over again, and quick as a cat as well. So when it comes to just a stud wide receiver, Jarius Wright is definitely on that list for sure.
How you spending Memorial Day weekend? We want to know. Send us your photos. Send us your pictures. Just go to hitthatline.com. You'll see the link there for Memorial Day photos. Send us your best photo of what you got planned or what you'll be doing this weekend. Best picture is going to win a $50 gift certificate to CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. So you can enjoy that sometime after Memorial Day weekend. We'll take photos all the way through Tuesday morning, but go to hitthatline.com and enter our Memorial Day photo contest.
Let's go to the phone lines. Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources. Larry, where are you spending Memorial Day weekend, man?
I know.
Sunday, but we'll be open the rest of the weekend at both locations because folks need nicer, newer cars, and a lot of folks love to go out and shop on a big weekend like that. So we've got big inventory. We've been stocking up, and as you know, the recovery is on at Rath Auto Resources and Rath Mitsubishi. We've got that Rath Auto Relief, $1,200 to use as you choose on select inventory of used cars. Ask your friendly solution specialist to help you find one that fits that criteria. Get that extra $1,200. You can use that off the price. You can use that as extra for your trade-in. You can also use that to help you get into that nicer, newer car. Now, folks, the new Mitsubishis, every one of them has got the Rath Auto Relief on it. So we're making it really easy to get the new Mitsubishis. The Meineke Car Care Centers, they're taking care of the car you have with buy three, get one free on all tires, $24.95 basic oil change every day. And those specials that you've come to expect from them, including the Meineke credit card. So lots of fun things going on this weekend at Rath Auto Resources and Rath Mitsubishi. Come and see us, folks, or check us out online at rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, we will talk to you in a couple of days.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. And, folks, come and see us.
We brought up the fact that the Arkansas football team, over the course of 26 games in 2010, 2011, was ranked every single one of those games. The number of games you were ranked from 2012 all the way through 2019 to close out the decade resulted in 10. So in 2 years, you had twice as many ranked games that you were ranked in compared to the rest of the decade. And one of the things that Jarius brought up in the interview was we pushed this team really hard. This team really wanted to win. We knew what losing felt like, and we didn't like it. Now, Bobby Petrino, he wears on you as a head coach, but you saw the results, and they paid off in those 2 years because I'm sure everyone listening would like to go back to what you did between 2010 and 2011.
You know, and Bobby Petrino deserves and gets a lot of the credit, but let's be honest, it was about players like Ryan Mallett, Jarius Wright, Tyler Wilson, Ronnie Wingo. Just keep going down the list. Jake Beckett. Great players is what made this program. Well, who was responsible for getting a lot of those players? Well, Petrino came in and got a great first class that included the Joe Adams and developed those players, turned those those early teams that didn't make a bowl game his first year at 5-7 into an 8-5 team that became a team that won 21 games in 2 years. But one of the things this coaching staff is working on, challenged with, is upgrading all across the roster the talent, because that was one thing, both sides of the ball. And while it was a more offensive era for Arkansas football, they had players and they had playmakers. And Arkansas has got to get closer to that level of talent if you want that level of result.
And that was a great in-state year, the year that you mentioned in 2008, where you had a bunch of studs that came in that class. And that's why it's also important for the high school football inside the state of Arkansas to get back and get better. And you hope, whether it's the Southwest School in Little Rock that's headed up by Daryl Patton as the new
Southwest, the Gryphons, or I'm not exactly sure how you say their mascot, but yeah, it's the new high school out there.
That's why Rick Jones departing from Greenwood hurts the Arkansas high school football, because of how talented of a coach and how good of a coach he was getting guys to the next level for. You need all the good head coaches inside the state that you can, because, again, a population like Arkansas has, you're at a disadvantage because there's not as many people. That means there's not as much football talent. There's not as many selection to choose from inside the state of Arkansas. So you need as much high school talent as you can get, as you can muster, and then you have to direct those kids, hopefully, and give them advantages, not money or anything, but advantages by, like, winning and showing forth the winning program. Say, there's no other choice for me except Arkansas, because you've seen players like, I'm going to Arkansas just because of their loyalty to the state, but you need to give the ones that are kind of on the brink or deciding or on the fence of where they want to go, oh, this team's winning, so not only am I from the state, but I want to go to a program that is on the come up, and you hope that's where Arkansas is in the next few years.
Are you going through a divorce, or maybe you're having problems with visitation, child custody issues right now? I've read a lot of parents, a lot of guys online having struggles right now getting to have visitation with their kids because of COVID-19. And you need an attorney that's in your corner that knows how to deal with these matters, particularly when courts are closed down, not having cases brought before them at the same speed as we've seen in the past because of everything going on. That's where Kevin Hickey can come in and go to work for you with his experience, his aggressive style as an attorney, fighting for you from your corner, making sure your needs are taken care of. He has an office in Bentonville, also in Fort Smith, 479-434-2414 in the River Valley, 479-802-6560 for those listening in Northwest Arkansas. Now, those phone numbers and more details about Kevin and his team are all available online at kevinhickeylaw.com. That's kevinhickeylaw.com. Call them today. Things are going to get better when you call Kevin Hickey. Go to get those numbers again at kevinhickeylaw.com.
Coming up, we're going to get into a What's Your Beef Wednesday. If you have a beef here for us on the Morning Rush, call or text in 877-377-6963. I know there's been a couple different things that people have been irked by at some point or time this week, and that's the great thing about this segment is you can air them willingly on this program, whether it's a call or text, every single day. You don't get to necessarily vent to your boss. You don't get to vent to your wife. You can vent to us next. Stay with us on the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
At Breeden RV, we understand how these are trying times and that you do anything to keep your family safe. Well, we feel the same way. That's why we are doing our part to help you self-quarantine with rock-bottom prices on all new and used RVs, state sales tax paid, and no payments for 90 days. Get away with this 29-foot Coachman Clipper that sleeps 8 with slide for only $199 a month. Breeden RV asks everyone to do their part to help keep our friends, family, and communities safe. Breeden RV, where adventures begin.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 0% for 84 months on nearly every 2020 Buick and GMC in stock. At Harry Robinson Buick GMC, get 0 for 84 on 2020 GMC Sierra 1500s, Yukons, Terrains, and Acadias, plus 0 for 84 on Buick Enclaves, Buick Encores, and Envisions. If you're even thinking about a new vehicle, stop by Harry Robinson and let us show you how you can save thousands. 0% for 84 months at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut is open and is always ready to help with all your golfing needs. The Trackman and Foresight indoor simulators are open. Play a round of golf on courses like Pebble Beach, Royal Troon, Bethpage Black, and many more. Club fitting is available by appointment or take the time to just work on your game. The Golf Nut has a great selection of shoes and apparel, plus a great line of golf accessories. Check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Your #1 golf shop since 1994.
At AOG, we realize some customers are facing challenges because of the pandemic. We're here to help. AOG can offer you a wide array of payment options. Please call us at 1-800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com. Manage your account online 24/7 by clicking on Login/Register in the upper right corner. You can also simplify your life by enrolling in electronic billing, auto pay, and average monthly payments. Thank you for being a valued AOG customer. We're all in this together.
Need to see a doctor but you're concerned about going? River Valley Primary Care is now seeing patients at all 10 clinics by video and phone visits. See a doctor today who can diagnose your condition and prescribe medication if needed. These visits are now covered by most insurance plans. River Valley Primary Care in Ratcliffe, Mountainburg, Mulberry, Clarksville, Lavaca, Lamar, Waldron, and 3 locations in Fort Smith. Call 479-431-2050 or go online to rvpcs.org. See a doctor today by video or phone with River Valley Primary Care.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire and need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. There's no additional cost, but some restrictions apply.
Ask shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where the recovery is on. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about getting back to doing what we do the way we do it. And that means making it fun and easy to get into a nicer, newer car at Rath Auto Resources. We're doing our part by offering up to $2,800 below retail and no payments for 90 days with approved credit. Plus, we extended the $1,200 Rath Auto Relief on select inventory. That's $1,200 to use as you choose on a special selection of Rath Road Ready inventory while they last. Or let us take care of the car you have in the Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. The recovery is on with up to $2,800 off retail, no payments for 90 days, and $1,200 Rath Auto Relief on select inventory at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, Towson and Phoenix, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
So if you meet here, right here, after school today, you only get 1 lick from each of us. But you run like cowards, well, it's open season all summer long, boys.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
Them wild
Welcome back into the Morning Rush. Want to get into some What's Your Beef Wednesday coming up. And the perfect segue for that is to talk about CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. You heard Tommy mention it a little while ago. If you go to hitthatline.com/Memorial Day and you enter one of your photos where you're going to be this Memorial Day or where you've been in years past, you got a chance to win a $50 CJ's Butcher Boy Burger gift card right now. All you got to do, go to hitthatline.com/Memorial Day and enter a picture. So when you go to CJ's, regardless if you win the contest or not, I'm telling you, get the double, get the 2/3 of a pound. It is absolutely, or excuse me, half a pound. Unbelievable. Get a strawberry shake and get extra fry sauce because the fry sauce is just unbelievable.
Is it a half a pound or is it 2/3 of a pound?
Did I switch it again?
I'm not sure. I just know it's delicious. And the way they do the meat, they ball it up and then they flatten it out on the griddle there. I thought they were 3rd pound the way they do them, but which would make that 2/3. I don't want to short them.
I was gonna say I think I said it right the first time and then I switched it up. But regardless of what
it's a lot of meat.
Yeah,
I couldn't finish it with the bun and everything. I got about half of it done and then I just had to take the bread off and finish it up with a fork.
They also have at the Fayetteville location, they have a really good grilled chicken. They also have salad there, so you can whatever you're gonna get, it's gonna be fantastic.
You're right about the fry sauce. That stuff is what do y'all say? It's fire.
It's fire.
It's fire.
It's
it hits different.
It hits different.
It hits different. So 2 great locations.
It's dank.
Arkansas Avenue, exit 81.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
In Russellville, Weddington up in Fayetteville. Weddington location. You can call in. You can order pick it up curbside. They have a drive-through. You can also order online and go through the app, and then you can call in at the Russellville location.
I'm ready for the dining room to open back up because I need to get elbow deep in this thing.
Absolutely. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers, when all you do is burgers, they have to be the best. All right, let's get into it. It is a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
What is wrong with you? I want to complain. I'm complaining. I want to complain about complaining. I want to complain. It really pisses me off today.
To simply listen to people whine and complain.
I'm angry. I'm spitting angry. I'm like a tornado of anger, swirling about. My heart rate is dangerously high right now.
I'm complaining because not enough people tickle, hug, or smile.
I'm so mad I could eat ball bearings and crap BBs.
It's time for What's Your Beef Wednesday.
You're riding yours down in the break, so I'll let you read yours off first. What is your beef on this Wednesday, Tom?
I am beefing with all of, particularly some of the media, and particularly like a Clay Henry. I'm talking to you.
What?
I hope Clay's listening right now. The naysayers, Orange, you're in this too. Bring on Zach Orange to this conversation. What is all the naysaying about the Jordan documentary, The Last Dance? And the argument I consistently hear from those two guys and from others, well, there's nothing new in it. Well, of course, it was documenting a single player's career that ended nearly 20 years ago and a particular season that was more than 20 years ago. What new was going to happen when you're examining history? Sure, you may pick up some cracks of detail and some nuance. Yes, we remember what happened, but it's like going to history class in high school or college. Nothing new happened in there either. But you still went to history class, and I kind of liked history class. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy something from a historical perspective and consume it, particularly right now, guys, in an era where there is nothing new happening in the world of sports. There is no live sports to speak of. We're starting to get a few things back, but what did you expect to be new on something documenting a 20-year-old event? So my point is, why poo-poo it? I know, watch it. Nothing new there. I don't, and it's not just Clay and Arns that are there. There's other people. I don't understand the desire to not watch it. What else? Tell me something else on Sunday nights on TV that's better. What else you going to watch? Okay. And I am sad that it's gone. I'm sad that the 5-week run of this is over because that was at least something you had to look forward to kind of cap off your weekend. Now what you got? Yeah. Now see where we're at? Nothing. Big handful of nothing.
I would say a critique of The Last Dance is not what you're saying because I think you've seen the average viewership being the most watched documentary ESPN's ever had. I think it was well put together, even though it was a little weird that they started backwards, middle, forward. They had a weird order how they went about it.
It was about topics really more than it's storylines.
They went all over the place. How they documented was a little weird. But listen, that's
even
small,
inside. It was about telling a story. It was not about trying to reveal, new. It wasn't about things being new. It was about telling a story. And that's the thing I don't understand is why you don't tell me a great story. That's what these 30 for 30s, SEC storied, this it's about, all right, tell me a story. Who didn't want to be told a great story?
Here's the other critique that not just I, but many people smarter than me would have. It was too one-sided. There wasn't what people were hoping is, like, Jordan before was reportedly nervous that people were going to hate him after this, but there really wasn't a lot that you could take away. It almost ingrained his fans and people that may have sided with LeBron over Jordan more. But we have to remember his production company had final say on everything that was released. So that being said, you had some players, you had some different reporters that were a little ticked off that they were not interviewed, or some of the interview parts that they thought were substantial to the documentary were not put in it. So
I thought there was some good stuff from back then, shot back then we'd never seen before. Like, for instance, in episode 10, or what's 9 or 10, when they were trying to sneak Dennis Rodman out and he was running up the stairs, trying to get away from the media after missing the press. That was stuff I'd never seen. The stuff from behind the scenes from in the locker room before, where they were trying to sneak him out the back door.
Yeah,
there was a lot of little stuff like that you had never seen before. And then you would cut to Jordan, or cut to Paxson, or cut to Steve Kerr, or cut to someone else that would add context to the story. I thought it was well done, and I thought it was a great job of telling a story.
I don't fall into the camp that you're talking about. I'm just telling you that it wasn't like, I think people were expecting more dirt on this, and they didn't get that. That's what I'm telling you, because that was the critique of most producers, most movie people. Was like,
but the naysayers is, no, there's nothing new here. Well, have you watched it? Well, no, but there's nothing new. Well,
how do you know there's nothing new?
Well, my whole point is, can't you just be entertained? Have you ever watched a World War II documentary? I don't know. I mean, that just comes to mind. What new has happened? Nothing new. Nothing has been uncovered. But we've all watched a war documentary at some point.
I think it's pretty arrogant to say that you didn't learn it. If you watched it, you didn't learn anything.
I learned some stuff, or I remembered some stuff I'd forgotten. Filled in some cracks on some details. I thought it was well done. I just don't understand. I guess you just want to be an antagonist, want to poo-poo the idea. I thought it was well done, and clearly the number of people that watched it, to me, validates one of two things. Either there's nothing the hell else on TV to watch, or how well it's done. I think it was some of both. Is it the greatest documentary, greatest job of storytelling ever? Probably not. It benefited from the fact that it had no competition on TV. But I thought it was entertaining. Here's the thing that, to me, tells you why it was a success. I'm sad we don't have part 11 and 12 to watch this week. I'm sad the series is over.
All
Now
right.
what do I do?
Jenkins, I don't know if you have a solid one, but you.
I don't know if I can follow that, but I think for me, my beef is when I've got to be careful how I word this. When people just tell they go into such description on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram on how their day is going, and they put a big giant post that's like longer than the King James version of the Bible about how their day's going, how they cook breakfast, what they learned at the doctor's office.
It's never positive either.
No, it's never positive.
Here's the wonderful day I'm having.
Yeah.
No, it never starts out that way.
Like, I'm not trying. I don't want to be a jerk. I was like, I'm glad you're having a good day, but you don't have to go into a so long description about this whole thing.
But it always starts out with, a flat tire on the car.
Yeah.
Or
And then I didn't know how to change the flat tire. And then I didn't have a tire.
Spilled my coffee all over my shirt. Or, I don't know. It always starts out with some kind of drama or something bad happening.
Or they're just griping about something that they have no merit to be. Like, this one was, she went to the doctor, she tore her meniscus, and then she has to do this. And then she goes into this big, long argument about, I don't know if I'm doing this video chat right. So, just put your picture up and put a nice little quote up there and then call it good.
Yeah.
Not paragraph after paragraph.
Exactly.
Keep it classy, San Diego.
I think that's a pretty good one. All right, so my beef is, I don't know, this has made the rounds on social media yesterday. The picture of Asa Hutchinson, and it's he's on CNN, and it says coronavirus pandemic. Arkansas to open beaches, keyword beaches, pools, water parks this weekend. Tommy, do you know what beach is in north, south, east, west Arkansas?
Well, the beach I go to in Arkansas is underwater right now. It's called Sand Island on Norfolk Lake, but it's about 10 feet underwater right now. So now I don't know of any beaches, oceanfront locations in Arkansas.
I don't either.
There's a couple sandbars on the Arkansas River. I can see them from some bridges when I drive over.
I guess my beef is that Arkansas doesn't have a beach, and
I wish
CNN
we
is
did.
making fun of us for not having a beach, I guess, which is quite a bummer. Another beef I have, I'm looking.
I did have fun sending that to a few of my friends that swear by CNN yesterday.
They thought that was pretty funny, I bet. I got this notification on my phone, again, from Time Hop, which if you have Time Hop, anything you post 2, 3, 4, 10, however many years, it brings it back up. And this day 3 years ago, we were in New Orleans, and my beef is I didn't go to Cafe Du Monde and try beignets, which I've heard are incredible.
You better have a couple hours to stand in line to get them if you don't get there at the right time.
We skipped it because there was a couple hour, and then the other beef is I have with my buddy Jay. Now Jay has been my longest tenured friend in college, and he's probably the dumbest one of my friends. I love the kid, but he's probably the dumbest. He booked us in an Airbnb in the 7th ward, which we had no business staying.
At least at least you the water was gone, and the hurricanes and all this. That I don't know how. That's not an. You need to do a little more homework before you book an Airbnb.
Our Airbnb driver
in an area that might not be where an Uber driver even wants to go.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's why we're not ever letting Jay book our Airbnb event. But we're looking around, and our Airbnb driver he looks back at us, turns around as he's dropping us off, and he goes, "You guys have no business staying here." And I was like, great. So we are less than a mile from Bourbon Street, and we Ubered. And if that was anywhere else, we'd just walk, but nope.
You were just praying not to die.
Yeah. We made it through, luckily.
But look at all the money you saved.
I had friends that spent over $1,000 that weekend. I spent like $400, but they're idiots. So again, I'm the calm one. I'm the calm one of the hooligans. Every single one of us lost money in the casino.
Yeah.
At least $100. So good times.
I've never done well in the New Orleans casinos.
Good memories though. For Matt Jenkins and Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. Don't spend life sitting on your hands. We'll talk tomorrow, folks.
Hi, I'm Bill Bolton of NWA Gold, Silver, and Coins. I started